Chapter 1, I Became Naruto. Fire Country, Konoha Village. The 12-year-old Naruto walks down the street, striding ahead under the gazes of disdain. Look, it's that kid again. Despicable demon fox, why didn't they kill him? Be quiet, don't let him hear you. The disgusting voice of discussion came from the side. Naruto walked silently under those repulsive eyes and walked to the door of the fruit store. Boss, do you have some oranges? Naruto smiled. No. Naruto looked up and saw the store proprietor's scornful gaze, and then glanced at the piles of oranges in the store. After that, he didn't speak anymore and walked away. The moment he turned to depart, out of the corner of his eyes saw two figures on the roof who were the Umbu ninjas monitoring him. Heh, don't you all worry about me too much? Naruto lowered his head slightly, evoking a sneer from an angle that others could not see. It was a good thing to be able to reincarnate, but after rebirth, he realized that he became lonely Naruto. No family, no relatives, being treated with indifference, loneliness, surveillance, and even food and survival are a problem. It can be said that Naruto's childhood was black, a chasm without brilliance. As a traverser, he wanted to change the status quo. At least he wanted enough food to ensure his body's nutrition. So, he drew some cartoons by relying on the skills of his previous life, intending to make some money in this world. But when he took these comics and prepared to sell them, he was intercepted by Umbu. Those hard-drawn cartoons were mercilessly torn up and his drawing behavior caused Umbu's stricter monitoring. At that moment, he recognized his reality and began to hide everything about himself, and lived in a low-key manner according to the initial trajectory of life. He didn't ask where the legacy left by the fourth Hokage was and why it was not inherited by him, nor did he ask why he was taught to refine chakra so late. He didn't even ask why Umbu was monitoring him all the time. Let's go to the next fruit store, I want to eat oranges. Naruto looked up at the sun on the horizon, looking at the warm sunlight. The sneer on his lips gradually turned into an artificial smile to hide from the cold eyes and surveillance. Rhythmic footsteps followed Naruto's pace, and soon he walked to another store to buy oranges, but the result was still an indifferent rejection. What a pity, I just wanted to eat a few oranges, why should they refuse? There was disappointment in Naruto's voice. He hadn't eaten oranges for a long time. He really wanted to eat one, unfortunately, it didn't work out. Forget it, let's go to the river. It's almost time for lunch. Naruto did not continue to go to other stores but turned around to leave, but a small figure not far away caught his attention. It was a little girl with Hyuga's family crest on her clothes, with a big head and a small and delicate body. There was a hint of red light on her cute little face, and her round eyes were white, as beautiful as white jade. Seeing this small figure, Naruto's smile became much more real. Because that figure is the only person in this world who is worthy of his smile. This person is none other than the cute Hinata Hyuga, his only friend. After knowing Hinata from a very young age, Naruto often interacts with her and chats together, and the two became excellent friends. It's just that Hinata is too shy, even though the two are friends. Every time Hinata sees him, she looks shy. Like now, Hinata's soft and slender hands are connected by two index fingers pressed against each other, a timid gesture. Looking at the shy Hinata, Naruto walked over with a smile, but a blue air balloon floating near her caught Naruto's attention. Hinata, what a coincidence! Naruto greeted and looked at the blue air balloon carefully and found that the words P button were written on the ball. What? A coincidence. The clear and pleasant voice interrupted Naruto's thinking. Naruto looked at Hinata and found that she was shyly bowing her head, not daring to look at him. Naruto felt warm when he saw such a cute Hinata, but the experience ball floating around her made him very puzzled. Experience value +1. A line of black characters suddenly appeared, and simultaneously the blue experience ball trembled. Seeing this scene, Naruto looked around calmly and found that no one noticed this. He had his guesses. To find out the specific reason, he began to chat with Hinata. Although Naruto was talking most of the time and Hinata listened with her head down. Naruto quickly understood the general situation of the experience ball. He discovered that this experience ball can only be seen by him, others cannot see it, and the experience value +1 will be displayed after engaging with Hinata for a bit. It's his golden finger. Such an unexpected thing made Naruto ecstatic. To understand the ins and outs of the golden finger, Naruto interacted with Hinata again. Experience value +1. Another line of black fonts floated on Hinata's body, and the blue experience ball vibrated and became slightly smaller. It was obvious that the experience value was obtained by Naruto. This change made Naruto even more convinced of his thoughts. He calmly chatted with Hinata, and occasionally glanced at a roof somewhere out of the corner of his eye, from where Umbu was observing. Experience value +1. The black font reappeared, and Naruto's eyes flashed, but he didn't want to stay here for too long, otherwise, it would easily cause unnecessary suspicion, so he spoke. Hinata, have you eaten lunch? Come have lunch with me. Hinata panicked and didn't know how to answer such an intimate question. She wanted to faint. Experience value +1. Seeing the experience points reappearing on Hinata's body, Naruto's eyes flashed with joy. He sent an invitation again. Hinata, follow me to the riverside, I'll invite you to lunch. Okay, Hinata replied stupidly, followed Naruto in a daze, and completely lost her own opinion. During all this, Naruto kept observing the experience ball and found that as he chatted with Hinata, the blue experience ball was getting smaller, like a balloon. You only need to talk or interact with Hinata to gain experience points. As for the role of this experience value, experience value +1. Chapter 2, Date with Hinata. The two came to the small river together, and Naruto turned to Hinata and said, Hinata, let's eat fish. Eat fish? Are you going to fish? But we didn't bring any fishing gear. Hinata mustered her courage and finally said a word. It's not fishing that's too slow, I have a better way, Naruto said from the channel. A better way? Hinata looked at Naruto with a hint of anticipation. You'll know in a while. Naruto smiled mysteriously, stepped to the side of the water plants by the small river, and then squatted down and started to pick up the water plants. Shortly after, a fish cage stained with water plants was brought out by him. At the moment when the cage was lifted, there were actually a few big fat fish jumping around in the fish cage. There are so many big fish, what is this net-shaped fishing tool called? The structure is very strange. Is this your fishing tool? Hinata ran to Naruto's side and looked at the big fish cage with obvious curiosity in his eyes. This tool for catching fish is called a fish cage. As long as you put the fish cage in the water and put the bait on it, you will be able to catch fish the next day. Naruto explained with a smile as he also used a fish cage to catch fish in his previous life. But this world is obviously different. The fish here are huge and there are too many. He can catch several fish every time. He even wanted to sell them to make money, but he gave up in the end. After going through that incident, Naruto has understood that Konoha village is darker than he imagined, and there is no harm in keeping a low profile until he has strength. Certainly, it's okay to play with Hinata. They have known each other for several years and often talk together. It's normal to play like this now, and no one will stop them. So he put the fish cage on the grass with peace of mind for Hinata to watch. Naruto, did you make this fish cage? It's such a unique design. Hinata crouched beside the fish cage, looking at the large fish inside. Yes, I only want to catch big fish, so the structure of the net is relatively large. Naruto pointed to the structure of the fish cage and began to explain. After listening to Naruto's explanation, Hinata showed admiration in her eyes. Naruto is amazing, how did you come up with it? No way, this was all compelled by life. Naruto kept smiling as much as possible, but that smile was a bit bitter. When the eating was a problem, all he could do was rely on himself. Naruto. When Hinata heard these words, worry appeared in her eyes. She was very sensitive when she was young, and she instantly understood Naruto's bitter smile. Well, let's get some firewood. I'll kill the fish. There are the stove and cooking tools I used to cook. We'll eat grilled fish later. Naruto changed the subject. Well, I'll pick it up right away. Hinata nodded her head and ran to the distance with her little feet, but looked at Naruto from time to time, obviously still caring about Naruto's emotions. Experience value +1. The experience point prompt appeared again. Naruto calmly took out kunai, took the big fish out of the fish cage, and started killing the fish. During the conversation with Hinata just now, he has been gaining experience points, which makes Naruto very happy, especially for the function of experience points. He is full of expectations. I don't know what it will do, I'm really looking forward to it, Naruto muttered. What's wrong, Naruto? Hinata's melodious voice could be heard in the distance, and it was obvious that she had been paying attention to Naruto. It's nothing, Naruto replied. Okay. Experience value +1. Naruto and Hinata quickly dealt with everything and officially prepared to cook. Naruto, let me cook. Hinata is good at cooking, so he decided to take over the task of cooking. Well, you make the fish soup, I'll grill the fish. Let's work together. Naruto suggested. Okay. Experience value +1. Seeing Hinata busy making fish soup, Naruto also started grilling fish on the fire beside him. Considering that the two of them practiced every day, it was very physically exhausting and their food intake was relatively large, so Naruto grilled 5 whole fish. The size of this fish is very large. According to the age of the two fish per person is almost enough, and the extra one is used as a spare. After making the decision, Naruto took out the seasoning from the cooking tools and started grilling the fish. There are a lot of these materials, which he collected in the wild. Because the money is not enough for living, he must save as much money as possible. Fortunately, the nature of this world is a treasure trove full of abundant living materials, enough for Naruto to find the materials he needs. The key point here is that the materials here are quite good, no pollution, no spawning, no pesticides, and no chemical fertilizers. They are all excellent products, and of course, the taste is also better than his old world. He even put the cooking tools and materials outside because of this, but unfortunately, there is no orange tree nearby, and he can't eat his favorite oranges, which is his biggest regret. Shaking his head, Naruto put down the thought and quickly put a grill on the fish grill, placed the big fish on it, and started the great business of grilling delicious fish. Naruto, who often eats alone, didn't realize that the combination of the current method of grilling fish and the super good materials in this world produces a fragrance that is enough to make foodies drool. Just like Hinata, who was making fish soup seriously, but she quickly smelled an incredible fragrance. She quickly turned her head to look at Naruto, watching him sprinkle the ingredients little by little. It's so fragrant, Naruto, what ingredients did you put on the fish? Why is it so fragrant? Hinata blinked at the grilled fish, her fair neck moved slightly, which seemed to be secretly swallowing saliva. As the eldest lady of the Hyuga family, Hinata has eaten quite a lot of food and knows more about food than ordinary people, but she has never seen this method and materials for grilling fish. She watched Naruto skillfully roast the fish to golden brown color and smelled the strong smell of fish. She was surprised to find that this best friend of hers still hid such a good side, which really surprised her. Owl. The sound of the stomach growling came, Hinata's little face flushed, and she bowed her head in embarrassment. Her 2 small fair hands covered her stomach, not daring to look at Naruto. It's almost ready, we'll eat grilled fish in a little while. Naruto smiled slightly, feeling that the current Hinata was even cuter, and the little red in the white face made him want to pinch it. Experience value +1. Chapter 3, Really Fragrant. Of course. Now is not the right time to do something. Naruto clearly knows that those Anbu have been silently monitoring him. Even if a team is transferred, there is still one team that has not given up monitoring him. To relax Umbu's vigilance, Naruto stopped doing stupid things, which is one of the reasons why Umbu changed from 2 teams to 1 team. Naruto, is the grilled fish ready? Hinata's crisp voice sounded again. Naruto smiled when he heard this, knowing that Hinata was really starving. He picked up a grilled fish and handed it over. Thank you, Naruto. Hinata smiled sweetly at Naruto, took the grilled fish quickly with her little hands, and tasted the golden grilled fish. It's super delicious. Hinata took a bite, her big eyes lit up slightly, and then she looked at Naruto with admiration. This is the first time she has tasted such a unique delicacy of grilled fish, and the feeling of smell in her mouth is so appetizing. This made her look up to Naruto even more and felt that Naruto was a very vivid person. Experience value +1. Listening to the voice of experience points, Naruto smiled and said, if you like it, then eat more. There are 5 fish, enough for both of us. Naruto, you eat it too, it's really delicious, Hinata said, and couldn't help but taste the grilled fish again. It is good. Naruto picked up a grilled fish and slowly ate it. The two of them had lunch together in the warm sunshine, by the clear river, in the gentle breeze. Naruto, who had eaten the 2 grilled fish, nodded in satisfaction, then looked forward, and found that Hinata, who had eaten the 2 grilled fish, was staring at the last grilled fish in a daze. Naruto naturally understood this state. He picked up the last grilled fish and handed it over. Here, eat it. No. Naruto, you eat it. Hinata said embarrassedly, looking at the grilled fish secretly with big eyes. Don't worry, I'm full, eat quickly, it'll be cold in a while, Naruto spoke indifferently. Then I'll eat. Thank you, Naruto. Seeing Hinata eating happily, Naruto also felt very happy. In this tragic childhood, Hinata's company added a touch of brilliance to his dark world. Experience value +1. There is still a ray of light. Naruto murmured while listening to the experience point sound. Naruto, what did you say? Hinata raised her head suspiciously when she heard Naruto's voice, and the little bit of fish on the corner of her lips made her look very cute. It's nothing, it would be great if there were oranges to eat at this time. Naruto changed the subject. Orange? Oh right. Hinata thought of something, quickly took out 2 oranges from her pocket, and handed them to Naruto. Naruto, this is for you. Naruto was surprised when he saw the 2 oranges in Hinata's hands. He didn't expect Hinata to have oranges, and he also thought of the scene where he tried to buy oranges before. Even without guessing, he can tell that this silly Hinata must have seen that he couldn't buy oranges. She secretly bought 2 and wanted to give them to him. The reason why she took them out now must be related to her shy personality. It's so cute, Naruto murmured. Thank you, Hinata, Naruto smiled and thanked, and reached out to take the oranges that Hinata handed over. At the moment of receiving it, he clearly felt the softness, tenderness, and smoothness of Hinata's little hands, a bit like the most precious silk. Experience value +1. Hinata also felt something, and the little hand retracted like an electric shock. At this moment, the atmosphere seems to have become a little different, and even the sky has become bluer at this moment. Hinata, let's eat oranges. Naruto opened his mouth to break the inexplicable atmosphere, and he and Hinata peeled off the orange and tasted it. Hinata ate it in small bites and her head was always lowered. She didn't dare to look Naruto in the eyes. Naruto didn't want to say anything but sniffed the scent of fish that had not completely dissipated, and silently looked at the sky. Far away, on top of a big tree. The 4 Umbu stood quietly on the tree trunk and watched Naruto. Some of them occasionally took a deep breath. Captain, that's why I applied to be transferred from the surveillance position. I can't eat such a strong fragrance every day. This kind of life is really hard. Umbu wearing a fox mask said. Yeah, we have endured it for a long time. Since this kid started cooking outside, the smell has become more and more fragrant. Another Umbu also spoke up, talking about his own experience. Depressingly,
and the Ambu next to him nodded in approval.
Can't stand just a little fragrance? You are the elite of Ambu.
The Dark Corps commander scolded him angrily, but he swallowed his saliva as he spoke.
Captain, it's not just this kind of food that matters. This kid is very good at cooking, and every time he cooks it smells delicious, but we can't eat it.
That kind of discomfort can drive people crazy.
The fox mask Ambu explained again, obviously having had enough. Oomph, what is a mere scent? You are ninjas.
The commander of the Dark Army rebuked him again, but halfway through the conversation, his stomach rumbled, and the atmosphere at the scene instantly became embarrassing.
Cough cough.
The Dark Corps elder blushed, but fortunately, he was wearing a mask so no one could see it. He changed the subject and said, "Have you checked that fish-catching tool?"
I checked, it's a good idea. This matter has been reported to Hokage-sama, but Hokage-sama didn't take it seriously. Fox Ambu returned. Well, these things are just creative.
This Naruto is a little clever, but I don't know if he can become a strong figure in the future.
The captain of the Dark Army said. Captain, does the village want to train Naruto? Didn't the previous order say to delay his practice?
Even the refining of chakra was taught very late.
Ambu asked suspiciously. That's news of the past. I received news that the senior management was planning to train Naruto and develop him into the guardian of Konoha. The Ambu captain said faintly. Is that so? Isn't it a little late?
Although this Naruto is very good at catching fish, he has been eating poorly since he grew up, and his nutrition is very unbalanced. Even an ordinary family is not as bad as him. Yeah, looking at Naruto's short size, it's obviously due to lack of nutrition. He eats very little vegetables and fruits. I'm afraid it will be very difficult to cultivate him into a powerful person. The Ambu ninjas started talking and were not optimistic about cultivating Naruto. We can't do anything, the top management has already made a decision. The captain replied and continued to monitor Naruto, but he remembered Naruto's grilled fish and decided to eat it once if he had a chance. By the river. After lunch, Naruto and Hinata went home together. Naruto walked back and checked his own situation because just now, a mechanical voice sounded in his mind. Ding! When the experience value reaches 100, the infinite comprehensive system will be activated. Seeing this information, Naruto was excited, but he didn't show it, he just silently checked the system. This check was even more exciting because he knew that the opportunity to change his fate had come. Chapter 4, The Golden Finger is activated. Taking a deep breath, Naruto strode home in long strides, returning home quickly with cold eyes. Walking through the door, Naruto looked at the empty home and the simple furniture, and his mood gradually calmed down. He came to the desk and started to concentrate, and his consciousness sank into the system. During his exploration, an illusory interface called the Saiyan shop appeared in front of him. With anticipation, Naruto unlocked the Saiyan shop, which cost 100 experience points without hesitation. Ding! Saiyan shop unlocked successfully. After the sound of the machine, Naruto quickly opened the Saiyan shop, and the only item in the shop appeared in front of him. A drop of Saiyan blood costs 10 experience points. Seeing the price of Saiyan blood, Naruto was very surprised. Although the blood was only a drop, he still felt it was worth it. Knowing Dragon Ball anime, he knows that Saiyan is a powerful race. Every Saiyan is not to be messed with as they all are battle maniacs. If he can get the complete bloodline of Saiyan, then he can definitely sweep the world of ninjas. Thinking of being a Saiyan in the future, thinking of the power that destroys the world, Naruto's mood became excited again. He clenched his fists, trying to calm himself down while continuing to study the system store. Soon he found out there are some other functions below the Saiyan shop, but unfortunately, he can't see them for the time being. It seems that his experience value is too low. Ignoring these functions, Naruto's attention returned to the blood of the Saiyans. Although he has no experience points now, he can exchange 10 points of experience points for one drop. However, one thing that bothered Naruto was that when he separated from Hinata, the experience ball around her was much smaller. It was obviously caused by the experience points being absorbed by him, which made Naruto a little confused about the origin of the experience points.
After his observation, except for the experience balls around Hinata, there are no other balls around anyone, not even some ninjas he encountered on the road.
This made Naruto unable to figure it out. He could only speculate that it's because Hinata is the heroine and Sasuke and Sakura in the school, as important plot characters, may also have experience balls around them. Tomorrow, I will check tomorrow in school. Maybe besides Hinata, you can really get experience points from others,
Naruto thought.
After the decision was made, Naruto walked to the corner of the room, picked up the wood and the carving knife, and began to carve a wooden statue. At the same time, he mobilized the chakra to attach to his hands to exercise his chakra manipulation. Although he has been suppressed over the years, he is still working hard in his own way. In addition to refining more chakra than in the original, he has also improved his chakra control to a great level. In the original work, hand seals are Naruto's weakness, but he has already overcome this, and the speed of the hand seals is faster than that of Sasuke. These are all the harvests performed in secret, especially the exercise of the seal. The knife in Naruto's hand suddenly stopped, and there was a gleam in his eyes because he thought of one thing, and that was the 9 tails sealed in his body. If there are experience balls around important plot characters, then they should also be around 9 tails in his body. After all, it's the 9-tailed demon fox that is very important for the plot.
Let's try it,
Naruto muttered to himself, put down the wooden carving in his hand, and went back to the bed to rest. In the next second his consciousness came to the place where the 9 tails was sealed, which was the sealed space.
Little kid, why did you come here? Do you want to die?
Kyuubi's voice sounded with a brutal aura, and the turbulent chakra swayed with the sound, spreading towards the outside of the seal as if to devour the Naruto outside.
But
Naruto stood outside the seal with a happy smile, and his smile even became brighter, because he clearly saw that there was also a blue experience orb floating around the 9 tails. This experience ball was a little smaller than Hinata's experience ball, but the blue light made Naruto excited. Naruto laughed, looking at the huge 9 tails as if looking at a treasure, wishing to dig it up to check. This kind of gaze made the 9 tails in the seal a little confused, and it brought its huge head close to the edge of the seal and said, "Little kid, why are you looking at me like that?"
Experience value +3. Oh. Naruto was stunned and looked at the 9 tails in surprise. He never thought that the experience value was +3. Little kid, are you laughing at me?
It was uncomfortable for the 9 tails to be stared at by Naruto's strange eyes, and it showed its cold teeth and approached Naruto.
Laughing? No, I just think you're funny. Naruto smiled. Funny? A question mark appeared on Kyuubi's head, and it tilted its big head and said angrily, "Damn little kid, you say that I am funny, do you want to die?" Experience value +3.
Yeah, you're funny, and you're very suitable to be my pet. Naruto continued to smile and said, looking left and right at the 9 tails, constantly observing like picking a pet, trying to figure out why the experience value was +3.
I can slap you to death with one paw.
Kyuubi's claws were suddenly raised and photographed with murderous intent, and the surrounding red chakra kept surging.
Experience value +3. It's pathetic.
Naruto looked at the 9 tails in the seal, and suddenly felt a sense of companionship. He was scorned and rejected in Konoha, which made him hate this village very much. And the 9 tails have been sealed for so long, the anger that has been suppressed in his heart must be like a mountain, not to mention such a small space. Naruto believed that if he was sealed in such an area, let alone so many years, he would be annoyed and want to beat people in just a few days, not to mention that the 9 tails had been sealed for so long. So he stopped teasing the 9 tails, but sat cross-legged on the ground and looked at the 9 tails quietly, thinking about why the 9 tails experience value was +3.
Little kid, what are you looking at? Are you pitying me? Believe it or not, I can destroy villages easily. Do you know how terrifying my power is?
The nine tails seemed to be stimulated by Naruto's eyes, the whole body stood up, and the red chakra around him was surging, like a flood.
Experience value +3.
Naruto looked at the state of Nine Tails. His eyes did not change at all because the experience value was already 12 points, enough to exchange a drop of saiyan blood, so he chose to exchange without hesitation.
Ding! Consume 10 experience points to successfully exchange 1 drop of saiyan blood. Little kid, you better not look at me with such eyes, or I will eat you.
The blood-red tail of the nine tails swayed, the huge head was close to the sealed door, and the eyes stared at Naruto, a gesture of choosing someone to bite. But the next second, it seemed to feel something and took a step back, and then looked at Naruto in surprise.
Why do I feel a chill down my spine? I'm the Kyuubi, how can I feel this way? Damn it, what the hell is going on?
Nine Tails looked at Naruto carefully and scrutinized him, but did not notice the slightest change, nor did he feel any special change in terms of strength.
He couldn't figure out why he felt that way just now. Strange, is it an illusion?
Nine Tails muttered, unable to figure out why. It probed the surroundings for a while and found nothing, and finally assumed it was an illusion.
Chapter 5, Crazy Nine Tails.
When the Nine Tails was trying to understand what was going on, Naruto suddenly stood up and returned to reality. On the bed, Naruto suddenly opened his eyes, quietly feeling his own changes, feeling the boiling blood in his body. Originally, his physique was strong, and his physical endurance was very good. Now that he got the drop of saiyan blood, his physique has been improved again, and the 6 whisker-like textures on his cheeks gradually faded a little under the boiling blood.
His face has also become slightly angular. These changes are not obvious.
However, a small section of the hair on his head changed color directly, from the original yellow color to black. Naruto didn't move but felt the changes in his body. He could feel that his strength was a little stronger, and his reaction speed and fighting instinct had also improved slightly. Although the improvement was very small, Naruto's lips curled into a smile. Because this is only a drop of saiyan blood, as long as he can get more experience points, he can exchange it for more blood. Standing up silently, Naruto came to the mirror to carefully check his changes, and the black hair on his forehead made him frown. Reaching out his right hand, he took out the goggles from the drawer and brought them to his head, pressing the black hair on his forehead to hide it perfectly.
The saiyan blood is very useful. Even if the improvement is not much, it will definitely help me a lot if I get more saiyan blood in the future.
Naruto's azure blue eyes flashed, and something called ambition grew in his heart because he thought of the Super Saiyan form and the power of destroying planets with ease. Taking a deep breath, Naruto suppressed the thoughts in his heart and quickly controlled his emotions to a calm state. Let's think about these things later, let's first get used to the improvements, Naruto said secretly. After that, he closed his eyes and tried to extract the key of the Dragon Ball world. He doesn't know why, but after he got this drop of saiyan blood, he felt that he had a chance to extract key. Although chances were pretty slim, it was always right to give it a try. Silently closing his eyes, Naruto tried to extract ki, but he only managed to extract a lot of chakra. As a descendant of the Uzumaki family, his chakra extraction speed itself is relatively fast, and there is more chakra, which was also a point of pride for him in the past. The stronger physique allowed him to extract more chakra, many times more than before, but he was helpless because he could not extract ki. Forget it, let's keep earning experience points for now, Naruto said secretly. Lying back on the bed, Naruto closed his eyes and quickly entered the sealed space. Nine Tails was still in doubt. He felt that something happened today but just couldn't understand anything, so he continued to lie in the seal, looking outside bored. The sudden appearance made Kyuubi squint, and he looked at Naruto carefully and found that Naruto was still the same as before, so he ignored it and decided to sleep. But the idea of Nine Tails wanting to sleep was unsuccessful, because Naruto stepped in front of Nine Tails, and then stared at it carefully.
Kyuubi, are you female or male? Naruto asked curiously.
In his previous life, he discussed this issue with netizens. It stands to reason that the Ninetales are a chakra aggregate, and there should be no distinction between males and females, but because of the male voice, many people think that the Ninetales is male.
But he didn't think so. Because the voice of Naruto in the anime is a woman, is Naruto a woman?
So this question was not answered in his previous life, which is why he asked it out loud. But his question directly made Kyubi furious, and Kyubi said angrily, "Little kid, you have successfully angered me. Experience value +3.
I'm just curious." Naruto showed an innocent expression and even shrugged. "Shut up, brat, you can't be curious." Ninetales roared, feeling that Naruto was a bit annoying today. Experience value +3. "Kyubi, don't you have a girlfriend?" Naruto asked again. Experience value +3. "Actually, I have a secret, Kyubi, do you want to listen to it?" Naruto leaned closer to the Ninetales and whispered mysteriously on purpose. "What secret?" Seeing Naruto's posture, Kyubi also became curious, and it stared at Naruto, waiting for his answer. "You know Hinata, she is a super cute, gentle, and kind girl. She likes me and will become my girlfriend in the future." "Go away!" Ninetales roared. Experience value +3. "Don't be so angry, you must be lonely after being sealed here for so long. I can chat with you and relieve your boredom. Isn't that great?" Naruto said. "This." Kyubi was stunned for a moment, feeling that it made sense. "It makes sense, then you should have good communication with me and don't always lose your temper. At this rate you're going to become a mother," Naruto said. Kyubi was so angry that he wanted to slap the guy in front of him with a paw. Experience value +3. "Haha, I'm just kidding with you." Naruto appeased Kyubi before saying, "How old are you?" "You must be very old." Kyubi was appeased for a while and he was in a better mood, but in the next sentence, he was going crazy. Angrily, Kyubi glared at Naruto, turned his head away from Naruto, and it seemed like he was half dead from anger. Experience value +3. It's getting smaller.
Naruto frowned and looked at the blue experience ball around the Ninetales, and found that it had become smaller again. It was obvious that there was not enough experience.
When this thing is absorbed, will something happen? How does the experience orb increase? It's strange. Naruto was full of doubts and couldn't figure out the reason for the experience balls. He could only roughly guess that the probability of having experience balls around the characters in the plot was the highest. Let's go back with some more experience points, Naruto thought, smiling kindly at Kyubi. Ninetales, who was lying on his stomach, felt a little cold for some reason. He turned his head and saw Naruto's kind smile. This smile made him feel a little strange, as if it had some hidden meaning. But then, it finally understood what the smile represented, and it was the smile it never wanted to see. "Ninetales, you've been locked up for so long, you should have grown meat, why is your butt so small?" "Kyubi, do you have a gender? Can you breed offspring?" "Kyubi, raise your legs, let me see." Kyubi roared with anger, but there was a slight depression in his voice. Experience value +3. Chapter 6, Improve Again. Time passed slowly in the roar of Ninetales. When the blue experience balls around Kyubi were only the size of a ping pong ball, Naruto stopped getting experience points, and then waved at Kyubi, returning to reality. Kyubi's experience ball is actually a circle smaller than Hinata's experience ball, and the experience value it contains is also slightly less. However, the Ninetales give +3 experience points each time, which caused Naruto to obtain the experience points faster. This makes Naruto puzzled. He didn't understand why Ninetales is +3, while Hinata's is +1. Suddenly, Naruto thought of something and narrowed his eyes slightly, vaguely guessing the answer. Maybe it depends on combat power. Ninetales' combat power is several times higher than Hinata's, and it is not comparable to Hinata at all. This is probably related to the bonus of experience points.
However, this point cannot be determined for the time being, and more information is required. Recovering from his thoughts, Naruto began to check the saiyan shop again, thinking about the saiyan blood that was exchanged, but the hair issue made him a little hesitant. As the blood of this saiyan seems to be a bit too strong, even with just a drop of blood a piece of his hair turned black in an instant. Even if the blood is strong, the increase in combat power brought by a drop of blood is still too small. After thinking for a while, Naruto got up and went to the storage room and began to rummage inside. He remembered that there should be a bottle of hair dye at home. He searched for a while but couldn't find it. Is there no more? It seems that I need to go out. Naruto quickly tidied up, preparing to go out to buy a bottle of hair dye. After all, after the saiyan blood was exchanged, the hair will definitely change again, and the goggles will not be enough to cover it by then. So, hair dye is a must. With a small amount of money, Naruto stepped out of the house and walked toward the other side of Konoha village. The surrounding residents are very familiar with him. Many people are reluctant to sell things to him, but there are people on the other side of Konoha village who are willing to sell things to him. The milk he bought in the past was bought from the area on the other side of the village, but it was a little distance away. With anticipation, Naruto walked quickly, walking forward step by step under the strange eyes of the people around him. After a few minutes, Naruto, who successfully bought the hair dye, hurried to his home, only to meet 3 people when he got to the door. The leader of the 3 is a fat man, and there are 2 thin men. They are the 3 guys who used to bully Hinata. Due to the emphasis on training since childhood, when Naruto met these 3 people, he beat them severely. Moreover, they were influenced by their parents and discriminated against Naruto very much. The 2 sides had several conflicts later, and the hatred had already been forged. Now that the other party is hanging around in front of his house, he must have some ulterior motive. "Fatty, what are you doing at my door?" "It's nothing, I just want to ask if you want a ninja dog. If you want to, I can get it for you." Fatty smiled. "Ninja dog? Why would you be so kind?" Naruto sneered, his azure blue eyes staring at each other indifferently. "Hey, actually that ninja dog is too fierce, ordinary people can't tame it. I think you can definitely tame it," Fatty said excitedly. "Idiot." Naruto scolded the other party, pushed him away and walked home with a cold face, and even slammed the door shut. The fat man's face was blue with anger and he said angrily, "Damn, this kid is getting harder and harder to deal with." "Then what should we do?" "We have to get our revenge," a younger brother said. "Why not get that ninja dog over to scare Naruto?" another little brother suggested. "This is a good method, but that ninja dog is too fierce, I can't approach it." The fat man hesitated, a little afraid to act. The 3 little devils muttered but did not find a solution, and finally walked away in distress, but obviously did not give up. Inside the house, Naruto adjusted the hair dye with a tool, stood at the window, and watched the 3 little devils walk away. A hint of coldness flashed in his eyes, and then he drew the curtains to block his sight. Silently going back to the seat, Naruto put down the hair dye, put a small mirror in front of him, and then sank into the system store and began to exchange new saiyan blood. He now has 45 experience points, enough to exchange for 4 drops of saiyan blood, plus the previous 1 drop, that is 5 drops, which is enough to take his physique to a higher level. Ding! Consumed 40 experience points and successfully exchanged 4 drops of saiyan blood. As the mechanical sound was heard, Naruto's body boiled again. At the same time, Naruto's hair was changing again, expanding slightly from the original black hair, but the position was still on the forehead. Naruto looked at himself in the mirror and started dyeing his hair. Naruto's eyes suddenly narrowed slightly, and he looked in the 4 directions of the house, and vaguely judged that there were 4 figures around him monitoring him. Obviously, they were the surveillance personnel of Umbu, which surprised Naruto somewhat because he remembers the blood of the Saiyans is not particularly outstanding in perception, although it can perceive a particularly powerful chi. For example, in the original book, Son Goku suffered from this point several times, but now Naruto has obtained such outstanding perception ability with 5 drops of saiyan blood, which is really puzzling to him.
Could it be that the saiyan blood I got is stronger? More domineering?
If that's the case, it's really a big profit. Taking a deep breath, Naruto clenched his fists tightly, feeling that his strength has been significantly improved, and the effect of saiyan blood in his body has only just begun to show. In the future, his physique will become stronger and stronger, and if he concentrates on cultivation, it will become stronger.
It seems that a new set of training methods will be needed.
Naruto pondered setting a goal for his future practice, and at the same time sat down with his knees crossed, and began to refine his chakra again.
Chapter 7, Sakura and Ino. Outside world. The commander of the dark unit in charge of monitoring Naruto explained a few words to the other team members and then began to write today's monitoring records. After finishing writing, the Dark Corps commander went to Hokage's office, handed over today's record to Hokage, and continued to monitor Naruto. These are routinely handed in records, and almost every day someone will write and hand them in. Hokage office.
The third Hokage was smoking a pipe, casually looking at today's surveillance records, and after reading the surveillance records for so many years, he was also a little annoyed.
But he was a little curious about Naruto's purchase of hair dye. Does this kid want to dye his hair?
The third Hokage muttered, then he took out the monitoring crystal ball, and prepared to use the telescope technique to watch Naruto's situation. With the surging of the chakra, Naruto gradually appeared in the crystal ball, and he saw Naruto sitting cross-legged and the general situation around him.
Is he doing the practice of chakra refining? Is he finally a little self-motivated?
Third Hokage looked at the scene in the crystal ball and nodded, and when he saw a little black hair on Naruto's head, he shook his head again. Sure enough, he is just a child, and he just played with hair dye. Third Hokage looked at the hair silently and then looked at the hair dye in the room, feeling that Naruto was really a child.
Forget it, he will be graduating soon. I should send someone that can teach him well.
The third Hokage closed the crystal ball and stopped paying attention to Naruto's situation. After the third Hokage closed the crystal ball, Naruto, who was sitting cross-legged at home, suddenly opened his eyes. Taking a deep breath, Naruto was pleasantly surprised, because just now he clearly felt a sense of peeping, which was a feeling of peeping that he had not noticed before. But after getting 5 drops of saiyan blood, he had this ability, and even when the peeping disappeared, he could clearly feel it, which made Naruto finally determine the extraordinariness of saiyan blood.
But now there is a question that Naruto is puzzled about, that is, how did saiyan blood improve? How much does it need to become a true saiyan?
For example, in Dragon Ball, Son Goku is a pure saiyan, and the blood in his whole body is saiyan blood. If this is the case, then Naruto needs too much blood to achieve that level. No, I definitely don't need so much blood. I can feel that my saiyan blood is extraordinary, and I may need very little blood. Naruto muttered secretly while opening the saiyan shop to check for the unlocked functions. He didn't know what these functions were for, because even the names were locked and he couldn't see anything, which made Naruto frown a little, and he was very curious about the function of these functions. Forget it, let's keep trying to lift the chain on chi. With chi, you can practice more abilities, such as flight. TL, HTTP URL. Naruto thought of flying in the sky, and his eyes were filled with anticipation. The effect of flight is absolutely overwhelming to the flying ability of ninjas in the Naruto world, as it was an absolute ability to fly.
If he can practice successfully, he will usher in a qualitative leap.
Considering this, he closed his eyes and fell into trying the refinement of chi again. In the early morning of the next day, the sun shines on the earth, bringing vitality to all things.
Naruto got up early, dressed, and walked out of the house.
The moment he walked out of the house, he could easily perceive the peeping eyes from the 4 corners, which were obviously the surveillance of Umbu. Ignoring the surveillance of these Umbu, Naruto continued to walking step by step in the gentle breeze under the eyes of the early morning.
Shortly after, Naruto came to the gate of the ninja school and frowned as he watched the students who entered the school.
Because he met a lot of people along the way, there were no experience balls around these people, which made Naruto somewhat worried about the acquisition of experience points.
Tang 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 tang.
A slightly heavy running sound came from behind. Naruto turned his head to look, and found that Sakura and Ino were walking quickly side by side. The two of them pushed each other forward while walking fast, like two little wild horses that did not give way to each other. Naruto's eyes lit up when he saw the two because the two had blue experience balls around their bodies, but one was bigger and the other was smaller.
Ino's experience ball is relatively much smaller, but Sakura's is different.
Her experience ball is similar to Hinata's experience ball, and a little more bigger than Kyuubi's.
Such a result surprised Naruto and made him even more convinced of his thoughts.
In the anime, Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, and Hinata are all very important plot characters, while Ino is slightly inferior in comparison. In this way, it makes sense that Ino's experience ball is smaller, and Naruto almost understands it and knows what to do next.
Naruto, get out of the way, don't get in the way. Sakura's loud voice sounded, and Sakura, who was competing with Ino, galloped forward.
It seemed that Naruto's position blocked her way a little, so she shouted directly.
Experience value +1. Naruto frowned slightly when he heard Sakura's voice.
The position he was standing wasn't a block, it only affected a little bit at most, but he welcomed Sakura's shouting. This made Naruto give up the previous interaction plan, which was the method of earning experience points. Instead, when Sakura and the others approached, he suddenly moved a step to the left.
Bang! What? Sakura sat on the ground, clutching her forehead and glaring at Naruto. Naruto, why are you blocking my way? Experience value +1. Is this your road? Do you have the property right certificate for this road? Naruto said directly. Sakura was at a loss of words. Experience value +1.
I'm speechless. Don't always think about yourself in the future, it's too selfish.
Naruto continued to speak. Humph.
Sakura was a little angry at what he said, but she didn't know how to refute it, so she snorted and raised her head.
Experience value +1. Humph, what's the use? Your pungent personality is much worse than Ino. Naruto said, and glanced at Ino next to him. Naruto, thank you for your compliment. Ino said a little embarrassedly, but very happy. Experience value +1.
Who said I'm not as good as Ino Bore? I'm much better than her.
Sakura shouted in disapproval. Experience value +1.
Nonsense, how can your wide forehead be comparable to mine?
Ino Bore. Broad forehead. Experience value +1. Experience value +1.
The continuous experience value prompts make Naruto look brighter and brighter, and at the same time understand more ways to obtain experience value. His head was running fast, thinking about the way to gain experience points in the future.
Hey, Naruto, you dyed your hair? You seem to have become more handsome. Ino suddenly said to Naruto. Experience value +1. He's handsome, but he's still an idiot. Sakura muttered angrily as Naruto really seemed to be more stylish after dyeing her hair. Experience value +1. The two of them didn't notice it.
In fact, because of the saiyan bloodline, Naruto's face appeared more resolute and the edges and corners were more distinct.
Chapter 8, Emo Boy.
Of course, Naruto will definitely not explain anything to them. The most important thing now is to gain more experience points.
Naruto. Naruto-kun.
A timid voice came from the other side. The voice was very small, with a hint of shyness, but it was particularly nice. It doesn't take a guess for Naruto to know who the speaker is, that is Hinata.
You are here, Hinata.
Naruto turned his head to look, and Hinata with a blushing face came into view. Naruto couldn't help but want to pinch her with that shy and fair face.
Experience value +1.
The experience point prompt appeared. Naruto's originally happy expression paused slightly and then frowned. Because the experience ball around Hinata is only the size of a table tennis ball, if it continues to become smaller, he doesn't know if there will be an accident. Just in case, Naruto decided not to interact with Hinata at first and waited until the specific situation of the experience value was tested. So Naruto put away his smile, turned around, and walked towards the school quickly, disappearing from the school gate in a moment.
Hinata was a little overwhelmed when she saw the scene and didn't know what was going on. Sakura and Ino next to them were also a little dazed, not understanding why Naruto suddenly left.
However, they were too lazy to think, so they walked quickly to the school, leaving Hinata standing dazed, wondering if she had done something wrong.
Inside the ninja school,
Naruto was walking in the corridor of the school, his eyes constantly scanning the place, looking around the students in the corridor, but unfortunately, none of these people had a single experience ball on them, which made him somewhat disappointed.
But
the moment he walked into the classroom, several experience balls appeared in front of him, big and small. And the people who have these experience balls are the plot characters in the anime, such as Inazuka Kiba, Nara Shikamaru, Akimichi Choji, Aburame Shino, Sasuke, and so on. The experience balls of these people are Sasuke's size, even slightly better than the experience balls of Sakura and Hinata.
Obviously, their importance in the plot is very obvious. As expected, I finally understand, Naruto said secretly, finally confirming that experience balls are only around the characters related to the plot. Now there are only two questions left, that is, will something happen after the experience ball disappears? And can the experience ball be replenished?
But there is no hurry because earning experience points is the most important thing now, so he strode towards Sasuke and quickly came to him.
What? Sasuke crossed his hands and said indifferently.
As the strongest student in the class, Sasuke doesn't care about his classmates at all, because these people are not qualified to be his opponents, so when he speaks he has a cold air surrounding him.
This way of speaking slightly irked Naruto, so he said with a half smile, "You can't sit here if you don't have something to do? The school is run by your house? You." Sasuke was speechless. Experience value +1. Humph. I'm too lazy to talk to an idiot. Sasuke replied, continuing to pretend to be cold. Idiot? Naruto smiled.
In the past, he deliberately hid his abilities to be seen by others as an idiot, but his clone technique, hand seal speed, transformation technique, and chakra have already reached a high level. Now with the saiyan blood, beating Sasuke is like beating up a child, without the slightest pressure. Of course, Naruto didn't bother to explain because his purpose was collecting experience points. So he continued with a smile and said, "So what if I am an idiot? It's better than being an emo boy." Emo boy. Sasuke's face turned green when he heard this. Since Naruto explained the meaning of this sentence to him last time, he never wanted to hear it again. The depressed Sasuke stared at Naruto. "Shut up, you idiot. Experience value +1. If you don't shut up, I'll call you someone pretending to be emo," Naruto responded without hesitation. What? Pretending to be emo? Sasuke wanted to hit someone in a fit of anger. This is really annoying. The angry Sasuke responded without showing weakness, "Idiot. The idiot who can't even beat a girl. Experience value +1. Oh." Naruto raised his eyebrows. Sasuke in the original book was someone who didn't listen to advice. Now he has somewhat grown, but Naruto doesn't care about this. Earning experience points is the most important thing. Because his experience value has exceeded 10 points, and he can exchange for a drop of saiyan blood, he couldn't help but continue to say with joy, "You are amazing, you can beat a girl, as a man you beat a girl, do you feel honored?" Ga? Sasuke was speechless. Although he felt that what Naruto said was a bit crooked, why did he feel that Naruto was right? Sasuke wanted to refute, but couldn't think of a reason for a moment, so he had to change the subject. As an Uchiha, my excellence is beyond your imagination.
Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Several experience points appeared in a row. Naruto scanned the class and saw experience points appearing on several people, even Sakura and Ino, who had just entered the door.
Obviously, his interaction with Sasuke caused a chain reaction, gaining more experience points, which gave Naruto more confidence, so he continued. Since you think you are better than me, carve a wood carving for me to see, like this. Naruto took out a wooden sculpture from his pocket.
The image of this wooden sculpture was that of Hinata. It looked lifelike and very real.
In his previous life, he was a sculptor and painter, and his skills in this area were very good. In addition, due to the fine control of chakra practiced over the years, he carved and painted every day.
How can the only heir of Uchiha carve wooden statues? So when Naruto asked Sasuke to carve a wood carving, Sasuke was speechless. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Naruto, did you carve this? It's so real.
Ino walked over and looked at the statue in Naruto's hands, her eyes brimming with brilliance.
It's so real, it's exactly the same. Hinata will be surprised if she sees it. Sakura also came over and looked at the wood carving's shy and expressive appearance with admiration.
The surrounding classmates also ran over to watch, and while they were amazed, they were also providing experience points for Naruto.
Experience value +1. Experience value +1.
Only Sasuke remained silent, his face was burning with anger. There was nothing he could do, he didn't know anything about wood carving.
Chapter 9, Ino's and Sakura's Envy. Naruto, can you carve one for me as well? It's really amazing. Ino couldn't help but look at the lively little sculpture. And me, carve one for me too.
Kiba also leaned over and said.
Sakura couldn't help but wanted one when she saw this, but before she could speak, Naruto spoke. I'm sorry, I can't.
Naruto took back the wood carving, glanced at Sasuke with a half smile, and then deliberately showed a triumphant expression. This kind of performance made Sasuke very angry, but unfortunately, he really knows nothing about carving and he failed 100%, so he had no choice but to turn his head away from Naruto.
Experience value +1. Experience value +1.
The continuous reminders of experience points made Naruto's mood gradually improve, but the frequency of reminders of experience points gradually decreased.
This obviously can't be allowed by Naruto, so he turned his head to Sasuke and said, Emo boy, you have to study and read more in the future, understand? You. Sasuke was so angry that his face was totally red. Experience value +1. What? Still not convinced? Well, I'll show you a hand today.
After Naruto finished speaking, he took out the drawing paper and brushes from the desk pocket and carried them out of the classroom. Such a scene aroused the curiosity of the entire class, and they couldn't help but follow him, and even Sasuke was not an exception.
After they left, Hinata, who was late, came to the door of the class.
Then she walked in from outside the class with frustration. Her little face was full of sadness.
When she was still at the school gate, why did Naruto suddenly leave as soon as he saw her? She was very concerned about Naruto's thoughts, but now Naruto suddenly ignores her. She thinks she must have done something wrong. So lost, she thought about it for a long time at the school gate, but she couldn't understand what was going on, and it was also the reason why she was late for the class. Why is there no one in the class? Hinata was holding her little hand at a loss, but when she walked into the class, she found that there was no one in the class. Such a scene made Hinata very dazed, and she scratched her head with her little hand, wondering what was wrong. But she didn't intend to think about it, because she wanted to understand how she made Naruto unhappy, so she returned to her seat and began to think with a tense face. Time passed bit by bit, and soon the classroom door was opened, and then Sasuke walked in from the outside in a daze. But Sasuke was stunned when he saw Hinata in the classroom. It's so similar, I didn't expect Naruto to have reached this level.
After Sasuke finished speaking, he returned to his seat, lowered his head, and remained silent, with a gloomy expression on his face. After such a series of events, Hinata was at a loss. She didn't understand what Sasuke meant by that sentence, but just as she was thinking about it, other students gradually came inside the classroom. These people walked into the classroom and looked at Hinata for the first time, and then whispered, "It's like the real thing, Naruto is too good."
Yeah, it's so identical.
I always thought Naruto was useless, but I didn't expect him to hide such a talent.
It's amazing.
The discussions came one after another, and Hinata felt a puddle in her little head listening to their words. She has absolutely no idea what happened. Why are these people looking at her and clearly praising Naruto? This situation caused her to fall into a cute state.
Gradually, there were more and more students in the class.
After entering the class, everyone looked at Hinata a few times and then gathered together to whisper, even Sakura and Ino. Hinata is even more confused now, wondering what happened.
Also at this time, Naruto, who was the center of the incident, walked inside and then sat back in his seat.
Hinata wanted to ask what happened to Naruto, but she became worried after thinking about the scene at the school gate, so she didn't dare to ask.
Tack! A crumpled ball of small notes was thrown over, and Hinata hurriedly caught it. She looked at Naruto, who had thrown the note, and she felt joy in her heart. Quickly opening the small note, Hinata looked at the contents of the note. "There is a gift for you. I will leave it in my desk pocket after school. In addition, when you talk to me in the future, throw a note." Looking at the contents of the note, Hinata was puzzled, but she also understood that Naruto was not angry. She was relieved, but she still couldn't understand the discussion in the class, and the gift also puzzled her. So she spent the whole day in confusion until after school, when she saw Naruto pointing to his desk and then leaving. With deep doubts, Hinata walked over in small steps and then picked up the gift in the desk pocket. There is a scroll-like gift that looks like a ninjutsu scroll. Hinata carefully opened it, but the moment she saw the content, her big eyes widened. Because there was actually a portrait of her painted on the scroll, she was smiling shyly, the blush and face on her cheeks. The painting was so lifelike, it was almost like the real thing. And in the painting, she was by the river, which was the scene when they had dinner together yesterday. Apparently, Naruto drew it based on the scene at the time, and Hinata also thought of the scene of the two of them eating yesterday, and her heart suddenly felt warm. Doesn't it look good? I envy you so much.
I begged Naruto to draw a picture for me, but he ignored me.
Ino came over and said with envy and admiration in his eyes.
On the other side, Sakura, who was packing her things, also came over and said sourly, "Naruto was so kind to you. Not only did he paint for you, but also carved your wooden sculpture."
Wooden sculpture?
Hinata was stunned when she heard this and then checked the table pocket. Soon a sculpture was taken out by her. The sculpture was carved with her face. The vivid wood carving was like a work of art, and she couldn't put it down. Joy emerged in her heart. Hinata had never felt so happy before. She had never been so happy as she was now.
She was so happy that her big eyes even turned into crescent moons. Beside, Sakura and Ino were still talking. Their envious commentary made Hinata even happier. On the other side,
Naruto is walking quickly to the house, ready to go back to exchange for saiyan blood, because the experience points obtained this time are enough to exchange some.
But something unexpected happened to him.
There was only one of the 4 Anbu ninjas who were supposed to be monitoring him. This surprised Naruto, but he also vaguely understood that the village's direction towards him had changed.
"I'm about to graduate. Is there going to be the Forbidden Scroll incident like in the anime? The multi-shadow clone technique seems too good to leave," Naruto said secretly and walked away with a smile. Chapter 10, New System Functions. Inside the house,
Naruto sat on the stool and painted while he opened the saiyan shop, ready to exchange for saiyan blood. This time, he earned more than 200 experience points, enough to exchange for more than 20 drops of saiyan blood, and this blood will bring a lot of improvement to his strength.
Only
He, who originally planned to exchange blood, was suddenly stunned when he saw the changes in the store because two of the previously invisible functions below the store were activated.
These two functions are the status panel and the lottery panel. Activation requires 10 experience points respectively.
10 experience points are nothing to him now, but now he is in the initial stage and his strength is the weakest moment, so he wants to use every experience point carefully.
Should I activate it?
Naruto muttered secretly, thinking about whether to activate these two panels. After a brief analysis, he chose to abandon the status panel and activate the lottery panel instead. Because the lottery panel shows that consuming experience points can draw any ability, this range is relatively large, and any ability may be drawn. In case he was lucky enough, he can even draw some super powerful ability, so he chose to consume 10 experience points to activate the lottery panel.
Ding!
The lottery panel is activated, and a total of 10 experience points are consumed.
Swish!
An illusory screen appeared in front of him.
There was a red lottery button in the middle of the screen.
There were countless spherical things around the button. It seemed that there were lottery prizes hidden inside. Naruto watched carefully and found that the lottery only required 10 experience points. Such a small payment made Naruto a little hesitant because there is no good thing at a cheap price. If it is so cheap, the chance of getting a good thing will be very, very low.
Let's try it once, Naruto muttered and finally chose to consume 10 experience points and clicked the lottery. Ding! Ding! Ding!
Like the sound of wind chimes, it was very crisp and pleasant, and at the same time, the illusory picture in front of Naruto began to rotate continuously.
Ding!
Draw 2 drops of saiyan blood. A message appeared in front of Naruto, and he was slightly taken aback, followed by a surprise. I didn't expect to draw 2 drops of saiyan blood, which is equivalent to earning a drop for no reason.
It's good.
Naruto was surprised. But he wasn't dazzled by the joy, but after thinking a little, he decided to draw again. He must ensure that what he gets in the lottery is higher than what he can exchange. After all, for him in the early stage, the bloodline of the saiyan is more stable, and he must gain more power in the early stage. Only after he has the power to protect himself can he dare to waste experience points and seek more unknown abilities. Therefore, Naruto with anticipation once again consumed 10 experience points to start the lottery.
Ding!
Obtain the enhanced clone technique.
Okay?
Naruto frowned slightly when he saw the reward that appeared because it wouldn't take long for him to get the multi-shadow clone technique, so this enhanced clone technique was simply useless. Forget it, the remaining experience points can be exchanged for saiyan blood. Naruto shook his head secretly, not wanting to continue the adventure, but exchanged all the experience points for saiyan blood.
Ding! Gain 1 drop of saiyan blood. Ding! Gain 1 drop of saiyan blood. Ding! Ding! Ding!
Sounded endlessly, Naruto felt the warm current rippling in his body, as well as the increasing power, and the sharper perception ability. The corners of his lips twitched into a smile. Now he has a total of 30 drops of saiyan blood. The gain brought by this amount of blood to the physique is absolutely remarkable. Coupled with the relatively powerful physique of the Uzumaki clan, it is equivalent to the strength of the combination of the two. It can be said that Naruto has definitely benefited a lot this time and has more strength, but it still needs to be tested well as to which step his strength reaches. By the way, let's try the effect of strengthening the clone technique. I hope it won't let me down, Naruto muttered secretly and began to create hand seals.
Bang!
The white smoke filled the air, and the 3 clones stood quietly around, motionless, but Naruto's eyes widened. Because at the moment when the avatars appeared, he found that he could control these avatars with his thoughts, just like controlling a remote control robot, able to issue various commands. Such a change was very surprising to Naruto.
You must know that even the multi-shadow clone technique cannot do this.
For example, in the original anime, Naruto's shadow clones often fight each other, which is very inappropriate.
If he can also control the mind of shadow clones, it will definitely make this ninjutsu an unprecedented improvement. Of course, Naruto is not very concerned about this aspect, because he values Saiyan blood more.
As long as he has the complete Saiyan bloodline, he will have the power to destroy the world, so he focuses more on the Saiyan bloodline. Let's continue to try the refinement of chi. If I can refine it, I will be able to practice flight. Naruto said and sat cross-legged, and once again fell into trying the refinement of chi. It's just that after practicing for a while, a sense of peeping suddenly appeared. This sense of peeping didn't come from the dark part outside the house, but from the faraway direction of Hokage's office. After Naruto felt this kind of peeping, he continued to practice quietly. Because he knew that this was the telescope technique of the third Hokage, it was obvious that the old man was spying on him again, which made Naruto very unhappy, feeling like a captive animal. Soon after, the sense of peeping disappeared again. Naruto glanced in the direction of Hokage's office and sneered, "When I reach suitable strength, I have to show off my power by killing Danzo." As for the third Hokage, Naruto's eyes flashed an icy look, and then he continued to try to refine his chi. Time passed in the refinement of chi, and soon came to the next day. In the morning, the sun is shining and the birds are singing. Naruto stepped out of the house, ignoring the Yambu who was secretly peeping, and walked towards the school. Today, he plans to add more experience points, and then he will be able to exchange a lot of blood and his strength will be greatly increased. It's just that he had just walked a few hundred meters when a big dog ran from the opposite side, and behind the big dog was chasing three men, led by a thin tall man. "Get out of the way, the big dog is crazy, it bites everybody in its line of sight." The tall man shouted worriedly, afraid that the big dog would bite people again. It's just that the big dog ran too fast, and the big dog ran in front of Naruto just after the sound was finished, and then the big dog jumped up and rushed towards Naruto on the side of the road. "It's over." The tall man's desperate voice came from afar because he knew he was going to lose money again. Just at this time, just when the tall man was desperate, the big dog that jumped into the air and was about to approach Naruto, suddenly, as if the dog felt something was wrong, twisted his body to the side of Naruto in fright, then turned around and ran back quickly, as if it was afraid. Even after the big dog ran, it looked at Naruto with frightened eyes as if Naruto was a beast. In the end, the big dog ran directly into the arms of the tall man, trembling and didn't dare to move. Seeing such a scene, everyone was dumbfounded, and the few people who were chasing the big dog were also surprised. Naruto walked indifferently, walking slowly from the side of these people, without even looking at the big dog, and when he passed by the big dog, was even more frightened and trembled. The tall man seemed to understand something, swallowed, and dared not speak. The Yambu who was in charge of surveillance frowned. "Is it because of the nine tails? No, it doesn't seem right. I remember a dog chasing Naruto before, so why?" Chapter 11, Sasuke's surprising discovery. Anbu Ninja couldn't figure it out in the end and assumed it was because the big dog was too sensitive. As for Naruto, he left indifferently, calmly heading towards the ninja school. Naruto knew very well in his heart that the reason why the big dog was so frightened was actually because of Saiyan blood. He now has 30 drops of blood. Although his body hasn't changed much, some hidden benefits gradually emerged, like the shocking power just now, as well as detection of prying eyes, the body's reaction speed, and fighting instinct. These hidden benefits are bringing benefits to Naruto from all aspects. The only thing that annoyed Naruto was that the extraction of chi was still unsuccessful. Instead, he extracted a bunch of chakra, which made Naruto feel helpless. He is now eager to know how much Saiyan blood can meet the minimum requirements for extracting chi. He also plans to activate the status panel. Since there is a function of the status panel, there is a certain chance that the detailed data of oneself will appear, which can help Naruto in extracting chi. After making the decision, Naruto hurried to the school, and when he entered the class, he found that the class was almost full. Obviously, he was late. Under the attention of the people around him, Naruto sat back in his seat to think about how to earn experience points, and suddenly saw something in the desk pocket. Doubtfully, he took something out of his desk pocket, and Naruto's lips immediately jerked into a smile. Because this turned out to be a set of ninja equipment such as kunai, shuriken, tourniquet, etc. There was also a small note in the ninja bag. Naruto opened the small note curiously. Naruto, thank you for your paintings and statue, I like them very much, this is my gift to you, Hinata. Seeing the contents of the note, Naruto understood everything in an instant. He smiled and looked back at Hinata in the back row, and met her eyes. With a hint of mischief, Naruto winked at Hinata, instantly causing the little girl to bow her head shyly. Experience value +1. Naruto was speechless and quickly turned around to stop teasing Hinata. He never thought that just blinking his eyes would actually increase his experience points. While this annoyed him, he was also thinking about using this method to earn experience points from others, such as Sasuke next to him. However, his winking at a man might seem a little weird, so Naruto was thinking about whether to change to a female plot character, such as Ino or Sakura. But after thinking about it, he gave up, because blinking like this seemed to be even more wrong, and it was a bit provocative no matter how you looked at it. Forget it, let's choose Sasuke. This kid has the most experience points, so he is unlucky. Naruto muttered to himself, turning his head to look at Sasuke next to him. Sasuke was crossing his hands on his chin and looking forward with a cool attitude, but after yesterday's incident, he paid more attention to Naruto. But Sasuke, who was just watching, suddenly found that Naruto was looking at him, which made him frown directly. Is something wrong? Are you okay? Naruto answered lightly, winking quickly. Sasuke was stunned by such a move. Originally, he thought Naruto had something to do, but he just winked at me? Why does it feel weird? Depressed Sasuke thought he was wrong, so he looked at Naruto's face carefully, but it didn't matter, the winking never stopped. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Sasuke quickly retracted his gaze and did not look at Naruto. The wink of the eye made Sasuke feel a chill on his back, which was even more terrifying than being attacked. So he didn't look at Naruto anymore and looked straight ahead coolly. To this, Naruto shrugged, abandoning this method and thinking of other ways to earn experience points. Naruto, can you teach me about your wood carving? It's amazing. Sakura, who was next to him, came over and said, You can't learn, you don't have the talent for this. Naruto refused without hesitation. This carving is not easy to learn, it requires countless efforts and sweat, and the most important thing is talent and patience. A patientless Sakura was a waste of time, so Naruto refused directly. Experience value +1. I can learn, I work very hard. Sakura said a little unconvinced. If hard work was useful, why are there geniuses? Naruto said. Naruto, I'm a girl, do you treat girls like this? Sakura said angrily. How exactly? Naruto raised an eyebrow. You obviously look down on people, don't you think about the self-esteem of girls? Sakura said angrily. Well, I don't know why, but seeing you unhappy makes me want to laugh. Naruto. Sakura was so angry that she wanted to hit Naruto. But seeing Sasuke beside her, to maintain her ladylike image, she could only be angrier and not speak. Experience value +1. Why didn't you speak? You gave up after just a few words? Naruto suddenly said in a gentle voice. Are you willing to teach me? Sakura saw Naruto's behavior, and there was a hint of anticipation in her eyes. No. Naruto shook his head. You. Sakura's fists were clenched, and she looked like she was going to freak out, but with Sasuke around, she still held back and said with a dangerous tone. Naruto, don't you feel ashamed to hurt a girl's feelings? I don't think so, my happiness is in hurting others, Naruto said without raising his head. Naruto. Sakura couldn't take it any longer, she raised her fist and hit Naruto. In her rage, her speed can be said to be quite fast.
Even Sasuke might be hit if caught off guard. But
when her fist was about to land on Naruto, a strong hand grabbed her wrist with ease, preventing her from hitting again.
Experience value +1.
Don't be so violent. Look at how cute Hinata is, learn more from her.
Naruto put down Sakura's wrist and said lightly. You, hoof. Sakura glared at Naruto angrily, then ignored him for a while.
However, Sasuke next to him frowned slightly. Because Sasuke saw the scene just now, when he saw that Sakura's arm was about to hit Naruto, Naruto grabbed it at the last moment. And Naruto's speed was extremely fast. Even he couldn't do such a thing. He secretly said in his heart, something's wrong, Naruto's speed was too fast just now, this is definitely not something that a student can show, and even I, as the chief student, can't do it. Could it be that Naruto is hiding his strength? Sasuke thought of this and quickly thought about Naruto's past, and his heart suddenly froze.
Chapter 12, The Genin Exam. After the wooden statue incident, Sasuke investigated Naruto's past and found out about the treatment he receives from people. So Sasuke feels that the probability of Naruto hiding his strength is very high. If Naruto hid his strength, he must have hidden it since he was a child.
At such a young age, he was that scheming, which really shocked Sasuke.
Although Sasuke was very talented when he was a child, he didn't have that deep scheming at all. If the family hadn't been destroyed, he wouldn't have become what he is now.
But looking at Naruto next to him, looking at the smile that he often hangs on his lips, Sasuke suddenly felt that this smile was a little unreal.
Thinking of Naruto, to protect himself he must have hidden everything from a very young age, silently enduring countless pressures and those cold eyes. Sasuke shook his head secretly. Originally, Sasuke was very disappointed in Konoha village because his family was destroyed, and now he is even more disappointed, and even thinks this village is very dark. Taking a deep breath, Sasuke looked at Naruto again, thinking about finding an opportunity to see Naruto's true strength. Experience value +1.
The prompts of experience points flashed in front of his eyes. Naruto looked at the students around him whose experience values were getting smaller and thought about the source of experience points again in his mind. He doesn't know how experience value can be increased, and whether there will be an accident after absorbing it. Unfortunately, for the time being, there is no way to find out how to supplement the experience points. Naruto can only earn experience points first.
Tack. Tack. Tack.
The sound of fast-walking footsteps was heard and the class teacher Iruka rushed in. There was also an experienced ball floating around him, but the shape was very small.
My students, I just received an order from the third Hokage-sama.
Today, I will conduct the Genin exam.
Iruka announced straight to the point. Exam? Are you taking the test today? It seems to be a little earlier than usual. Inazuka Kiba frowned. It's really early.
In previous years, I had to wait a few days more.
Nara Shikamaru replied. Never mind, isn't it better sooner? We can become ninjas sooner. Ino said expectantly.
Everyone nodded in agreement when they heard this, only Naruto frowned. Because the early Genin exam disrupted his plan, he still wanted to earn more experience points.
Forget it, it doesn't matter, let's see how strong my strength is. Naruto pondered whether he should show his strength during the exam.
After all, the clone technique in the exam is very simple for him, not to mention that his clone technique has been strengthened.
Everyone be quiet. Iruka-sensei patted the table, now we will start the Genin exam. The person whose name is called will go to the next classroom to take the exam.
After Mr. Iruka finished speaking, he started lining up the roll call, and then took the candidates to the next classroom to take the test.
However, when Iruka announced the Genin exam, Naruto made a surprising discovery. He found that when Iruka was talking about the official shinobi test, the experience balls around all the plot characters in the class actually changed at this moment and began to fill up at a slow speed.
The experience balls that were originally the size of ping pong balls around Hinata actually increased by a small circle in a short time, which was really surprising to Naruto.
Why is this? Why did it start to recover? Could it be related to the exam?
Naruto muttered to himself. Suddenly a flash of light flashed in his mind, and he vaguely guessed something.
Is it because of the plot? Could it be that the characters in the plot will recover their experience points after going through the plot?
Naruto said in his heart, faintly feeling that this might be true. Of course, he had to test it out to see if it was true.
It seems that in this exam, I have to hide my strength and see what the plot's effect on experience values is?
Naruto secretly made a decision and then waited in the class talking and chatting with the plot characters from time to time, earning more experience points.
After a few minutes,
when his name was called, he walked to the next classroom.
Let's start, Naruto. Iruka and Mizuki sat on the stools, and the exam began.
Naruto nodded, and did not start immediately but looked at the two of them. It was inevitable that experience orbs would appear around Iruka, but there were also experience orbs around the villain Mizuki, which surprised Naruto. Although this experience ball is very small, smaller than a tomato, it still contains at least 20 experience points, and after seeing Mizuki, Naruto thought of a way.
That is, through this person he can test what happens after the experience ball is absorbed?
If something happens and Mizuki dies, it doesn't matter. After all, Mizuki was not a good person and is irrelevant in the next plot.
Naruto, start using the clone technique. I know you're worried.
After all, you're not good at clone technique, but this is an exam, and you will have to face it sooner or later.
Seeing Naruto not moving, Iruka thought he was nervous and scared. He felt sympathy for Naruto and even thought of lowering the requirements. For example, others can separate 3 clones. If Naruto separates 2, he will pass the test. This is Iruka's bottom line.
After all, he is responsible for Naruto's future.
Therefore,
he looked at Naruto with encouraging eyes, waiting for him to perform the clone technique, hoping for a miracle.
Yes, it's a miracle.
In fact, he is not optimistic about Naruto. If there is no miracle, Naruto is doomed to fail.
Then I'll start.
Naruto made a seal with his hands and was ready to use the clone technique, but in order not to affect the plot this time, he couldn't make too many clones. But he has a lot of chakra, and the clone technique has been strengthened. It is still difficult for Naruto to separate a garbage clone. To this end, he worked hard to suppress the chakra in the body, reducing the output as much as possible, so as not to let himself perform too well.
Bang!
The smoke filled the air, and the 2 intact clones stood on both sides, and Naruto frowned slightly. He has suppressed himself as much as possible, but he still separates 2 intact clones, and why is it so agile?
Ha! Naruto, you actually separated 2? Iruka said in surprise.
Originally, he was not optimistic about Naruto, but Naruto succeeded in separating 2 clones, which surprised him, and he was delighted to decide that Naruto passed the exam. But Naruto, who saw Iruka's demeanor, didn't want him to announce that he passed the exam, so Naruto moved his mind slightly and controlled the 2 clones to lie on the ground, disguised as waste clones.
Bang bang!
The sound of 2 falling collisions came, and the 2 standing clones lay directly on the ground, motionless as if they were abandoned. Iruka and Mizuki were dumbfounded when they saw the scene, and their minds were slightly confused. The key point is that they saw this phenomenon for the first time, and they didn't understand what was going on. Ahem, Iruka-sensei, Naruto's physical strength and movement are not bad, why don't you let him pass the genin exam?
Mizuki smiled like a good person. Iruka was a little hesitant. He looked at the 2 waste clones beside Naruto and was silent for 2 seconds.
Originally I was going to let him pass, but if the clone is abolished, it won't work. I'm sorry, Naruto.
Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Huh, I didn't pass, Naruto said and then pretended to be angry. Chapter 13, Forbidden Scroll.
Next, as Naruto thought it developed according to the plot, Iruka did not agree to his graduation. To leave Mizuki, Naruto came to the swing at the school gate and sat quietly on it, and pretended to be sad. He knows that Mizuki will definitely appear, and through this person, Naruto will test the consequences of the disappearance of the experience orb. It's just that the parents of the children in front of the school were looking at him with cold eyes. Is he the only kid who failed the exam? Oomph, how can a guy like that be qualified to be a ninja? Yeah, he's a. Shoo, stop talking, the rest can't be said. The parents stared at Naruto indifferently, and said disgusting words to each other, which also made the graduating children puzzled and ask what was going on. But Naruto next to the swing was sitting quietly, not showing any anger, but waiting for someone to appear. Naruto, let's go, let's chat over there. As a teacher, Mizuki finally appeared and smiled at Naruto, looking very kind. Okay. Naruto stood up and smiled back, but the smile was completely different from when he faced Hinata. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. The two walked away. On the way, Naruto and Mizuki chatted, earning experience points for Naruto while the experience balls around Mizuki were getting smaller and smaller. Arriving at the location, Naruto looked around and felt that Mizuki has a good sense. They were located in a relatively high position, and it was very difficult for others to approach them silently. If someone was to get close to them, Mizuki will be able to find out first. It can be said that Mizuki's anti-reconnaissance ability as a ninja is still very solid, and he must have paid a lot of effort. But, as a ninja with no bloodline, no clan, and ordinary talent, he has already reached the limit of strength, and it is difficult to continue to advance. If he wants to continue to improve his strength, he can only find other methods, which is why he desperately wants to get the Forbidden Scroll. Naruto, don't blame Iruka, he has his own difficulties, he actually wants to graduate you, Mizuki said with a warm smile, trying to show himself as friendly as possible. Of course, Naruto wouldn't expose it as he wanted experience points, so the two of them, who had ulterior motives, had a friendly chat. Mizuki tried to instigate Naruto to steal the Forbidden Scroll, whereas Naruto wasn't listening to him at all as his focus was on the experience balls around Mizuki, and he finally came to a conclusion on the experience ball. The experience balls around Mizuki disappeared, but Mizuki is completely unaffected. This makes Naruto vaguely feel that the experience ball has no effect on people, and it may be a byproduct of the plot characters. Of course, this matter needs to be verified many times, and Naruto is not 100% sure. With a trace of doubt, Naruto left and went to steal the Forbidden Scroll. But halfway through, a sense of peeping from the direction of Hokage's office appeared. Naruto continued to move forward calmly, and soon came to the place where the Forbidden Scroll was placed, and easily stole it. The whole process was incredibly simple. Quickly coming to the woods outside, Naruto felt at least 8 peeping eyes staring at him. Obviously Hokage had already prepared everything. Naruto didn't make a statement on this, but silently opened the scroll of forbidden techniques and looked at the first ninjutsu, which was the multi-shadow clone technique. It's just that his movements were a little bigger when he looked at it, and he could see the information behind the scroll, but the back was blank. Obviously, there was only one ninjutsu in the Forbidden Art Scroll. Naruto did not speak and pretended not to notice this, and continued to study the technique of multiple shadows. This multi-shadow clone technique can be said to be quite good ninjutsu, especially in terms of learning. It can be described as terrifying. This ninjutsu is completely a cheat way of learning. The most important thing is that with his Uzumaki clan bloodline and the fusion of saiyan blood, he doesn't care about the side effects at all, and he can use it as he wants. Such a good ability will never be missed by him. Of course, Naruto actually has another idea. That is to contact the plot characters through shadow avatars to see if they can increase the experience value. If the experience value can be increased, then this ability will be powerful, and the entire ninja world will become a playground for him to extract experience value.
do not let me down.
Naruto took a deep breath and continued to learn this ninjutsu. Shortly after, Naruto wrapped the scroll behind him and then began to walk through the forest, waiting for Iruka to appear, to earn his experience points.
Naruto.
There was an angry voice in the distance, and Naruto didn't have to guess who it was.
Obviously, Iruka had arrived. Naruto, what are you doing?
Iruka roared angrily as he came to Naruto quickly.
Of course I'm going to learn clone art, so I can graduate. Naruto raised his eyebrows with a playful smile on his lips. What? Graduation.
Iruka was stunned for a moment, feeling that something was wrong, but at this moment, more than a dozen kunai shot from behind, pointing directly at Naruto with a chill.
Careful. Iruka moved like lightning and rushed towards Naruto, trying to push him away.
So Iruka moved, his hands came to Naruto's shoulders, and he pushed hard. It's just that something that made him depressed happened. His hard push didn't push Naruto, but he almost fell.
Tack. Tack.
With a series of cremation splashes, Naruto's right hand flashed like a butterfly and easily knocked all the kunai away. The whole person was fine, not even the complexion changed. Such a scene made Iruka dumbfounded and he froze in place.
Mizuki over there was also a little bit confused. His kunai just now was a sneak attack.
Under normal circumstances, even a chunin of the same level might not be able to stop him.
But this ninja student who was not qualified to graduate actually blocked all his attacks, which really surprised him.
Little demon, I didn't expect you to have good senses, but if you don't want to die, hand over the forbidden technique scroll quickly or else. Mizuki shouted irritably, took off the huge shuriken behind his back, and made a posture of preparing to attack. Naruto, don't give him the forbidden scroll, Iruka said hurriedly.
Haha, sad kid, do you know? You are the nine-tailed demon fox, and Iruka's parents were killed by you. Do you think Iruka will help you? Ridiculous.
Mizuki sneered and began to tell the story, telling the whole story, and during this process, the surrounding ninjas were obviously nervous. Even the third Hokage, who used the telescope technique, was staring at the scene without blinking.
After a while,
after saying everything, Mizuki looked at Naruto with a sneer and continued to roar.
See, this is the Konoha you live in. Everyone rejects you and hates you. You shouldn't be living in this world at all. Isn't it better to die?
Naruto shook his head and grinned slightly. Actually, I have a secret hidden deep in my heart.
Chapter 14, Opening the Status Panel. Secret? What secret?
When everyone heard this, they all focused their attention. Saying such a thing at this moment is likely to be related to the Nine Tails, so they quietly waited for the mystery to be revealed.
My secret is simple.
Naruto paused and continued, that is, the little Hinata of the Hyuga family is so cute, I want to marry her when I grow up.
What?
Everyone was confused and felt that their brains have stopped working. They thought that the secret was a big deal, but the final result turned out to be the love of two children.
This made them feel depressed and even had a feeling of suffocation. Naruto, why are you still thinking about this? Iruka couldn't help shouting. What? Aren't we chatting? Naruto turned his head and looked at Iruka indifferently. Opposite.
Mizuki saw Naruto turn his head and his eyes suddenly turned cold. Take this.
Whoosh.
The huge shuriken cut through the sky and flew towards Naruto with a chill.
Naruto, watch out.
Iruka shouted again, trying to block the huge shuriken with his body to protect Naruto, but the attack came too fast. Just as he rushed to the side of Naruto, the galloping huge shuriken flew over.
When?
The crashing sounded like a bell, with sparks rippling in front of Naruto, bringing an unpleasant sound. But Naruto at the center of the incident still turned his head to look at Iruka, the kunai in his left hand easily blocking the shuriken.
This is impossible.
Mizuki's eyes widened when he saw this scene. He never imagined that his full blow will be blocked like this.
Even Irika didn't expect it, and he was standing next to Naruto grabbing his clothes. Please don't grab my clothes. I only have 2 sets of clothes. If they are torn, they can no longer be worn. Naruto said lightly. Huh? Oh, okay. Irika let go in a hurry, and even took 2 steps back, but his mind still didn't get rid of that mushy feeling. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Okay, the next step is to solve you. What is your name? Oh yes, Mizuki, right? Naruto looked at Mizuki with a half smile, and when he saw that the experience balls around everyone disappeared, he raised his hands. Multi-shadow clone technique. Bang 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 bang. A large number of shadow clones appeared, and they were standing in the woods, clenching their fists and looking at Mizuki with a smile that was not nice at all. This. Mizuki was so frightened that he stepped back again and again, and looked around in a panic, looking for an escape opportunity. Beat him. Naruto gave an order, and the dense shadow clones rushed forward like locusts. Cracking popping sounds. After a while, Naruto threw the forbidden scroll to Irika, then waved his hand and walked towards the house. Irika was left standing dumbfoundedly trying to understand what happened, and Mizuki was on the verge of dying with a swollen face. Whoosh whoosh. After Naruto left, several figures of Umbu flashed by quickly and came to Mizuki to check his situation carefully. How is he? The Dark Army commander said. It's a bit of a hassle, his teeth are all knocked out. What? Naruto's house. Finally back, today was really a bumper harvest. Naruto returned home happily, and when the sense of peeping was gone, he went to the bathroom, washed happily, and at the same time checked the harvest of the day. Today, he gained a full 315 experience points, as well as the multi-shadow clone technique in the Forbidden Technique scroll. Should I draw a lottery? Maybe I can get something good. Naruto was a little eager to try but finally shook his head. Maybe next time, this lottery is a little unreliable. If you draw some garbage skill enhancement again, it will be a waste. Wait. Naruto suddenly thought of a question. Since he can get the skill points of the clone technique, can he also get the skill points of the multi-shadow clone technique? If you can draw such a skill, it will be amazing. Forget it, I think saiyan blood is the most important thing, and the exchange of saiyan blood is the foundation of everything. In the end, Naruto did not draw a lottery but exchanged all 300 experience points for saiyan blood. Ding! The exchange is successful, a total of 30 drops of saiyan blood will be exchanged. Crazy warm currents flowed in the body, and the already restless blood boiled even more. Naruto's slightly thin physique, with the addition of saiyan blood, became muscular. Although this muscle is not too big, at his age, it is definitely the best figure. Even those who focus only on physical training are not as good as him. So strong. Naruto clenched his fists, feeling the explosive power condensed in his body, and his eyes shone with excitement. Whoosh! The water from the bathing equipment drenched him, causing him to gradually suppress the excitement in his heart and continue to check his own situation. The perception ability has been enhanced again. I can feel a lot of life signs. Is this the ability of the Saiyans? Naruto couldn't figure it out, but he clearly felt the various signs in the surrounding area, whether it was humans, animals, or even trees. This range was not small, at least 1 kilometer. This ability made Naruto curious, but when he looked in the mirror, he realized that his hair had changed again. TCH, the hair changed again. There are still 15 experience points. Let's just open the status panel. Naruto wanted to know his own situation, so he chose to open the status panel without hesitation. Ding! The status panel is successfully opened. Ding! Naruto, Pseudo Saiyan. Blood, 60 drops of Saiyan blood. Abilities, Strengthening Clone Technique, Multiple Shadow Clone Technique. Experience points, 5. Ha! Pseudo Saiyan? That means I'm not a saiyan yet?
Naruto frowned slightly, feeling somewhat disappointed. However, when he carefully looked at the data panel, his eyes lit up slightly. Because of the annotations written on the data panel, it only takes a few days of calculation time and it will be able to show how much blood I need. Then let's wait a few more days to earn experience points, and maybe after everyone's experience points are exhausted I can become a full-fledged saiyan. Naruto finished washing his body and then walked out of the bathroom wrapped in a bath towel. His streamlined figure was fully on display, and the 6 whisker-like textures on his cheeks were even more faded. Without paying too much attention to these external circumstances, Naruto returned to the bed and closed his eyes to rest, and at the same time, he came to the sealed space where the Ninetales was sealed. After today's episode, Naruto wants to see if the experience ball of the Ninetales has refilled.
Seal space. Kyuubi was sleeping on his stomach, but when Naruto appeared, he suddenly raised his head. Little demon, what have you done? Why do I always feel cold behind my back? This is the second time. Oh, it's alright, maybe you have a cold.
Naruto said with joy as he looked at the experience balls that had recovered a circle around the Ninetales.
I'm the Kyuubi, how could I have a cold? Ninetales couldn't help but complain. Experience value +3. Oof, that's why you can't get a girlfriend. Naruto sat down and said. Experience value +3. Chapter 15, Testing the Ability. Don't be so temperamental, it's easy to get old and get wrinkles when you have a big temper. Naruto looked at the Ninetales. What wrinkles? I am a tailed beast, how could a tailed beast have wrinkles? Ninetales looked at Naruto with contempt. Experience value +3. Why can't you have wrinkles? The wrinkles at both ends of your mouth have even grown. Naruto looked at the Ninetales with contempt. What? The wrinkles at both ends of the mouth are growing. Kyuubi was a little confused, raised his claws to mold his mouth, and then roared, that's a beard, get out. Experience value +3. It turned out to be a beard. Nonsense, of course it's a beard. Ninetales looked at Naruto with dead fish eyes. You've grown a beard now. What kind of old age is this? It's caused by a big temper. Naruto sneered at the Ninetales again. I grew a beard as soon as I appeared in this world, and it has nothing to do with my temper. Ninetales got angry, feeling that this kid was getting more and more irritating. Experience value +3. That's it, you were like this as soon as you appeared. It was obvious that you had too much temper since you were a child. What temper? Kyuubi's anger has broken through the roof and he really wants to slap Naruto with a paw. But there is a seal and he can't hit Naruto, so he can only lay down depressed and ignore Naruto. Look, what I said did make sense. You should lose your temper less in the future. Otherwise, you will definitely not be able to find a girlfriend before you get old. Naruto continued to speak. Shut up! Kyuubi roared. Experience value +3. Look, you lost your temper again, you have to learn to be patient, you have to learn to be peaceful, this is something you must learn when you grow up, otherwise you will get angry every day and become bald. Kyuubi's anger exploded, and he stood up. The angry Ninetales raised their big claws and pointed at Naruto. In the future, if the seal is lifted, I will definitely beat you up. Experience value +3. Oh? Really? I'm looking forward to it. Naruto is half smiling, because when the Ninetales will come out, his strength will necessarily reach a terrible level, and who will fight who we will see. So Naruto wasn't afraid of the Ninetales at all but instead started chattering, continuing to earn experience points. Time passed bit by bit, and Naruto returned to consciousness only after the experience balls around the Ninetales disappeared. It's another 46 experience points, plus the previous 5 experience points, and now there are 51 experience points, so let's continue to exchange. As Naruto said, he chose to exchange Saiyan blood without hesitation. Ding! The exchange is successful,
you get 5 drops of saiyan blood. Warm currents flowed in the body. Naruto ignored these warm currents and opened the data panel.
Ding! Naruto, Pseudo Saiyan.
Blood, 65 drops of saiyan blood. Abilities, Strengthening Clone Technique, Multiple Shadow Clone Technique.
Experience points, 1. 65 drops of saiyan blood.
Naruto murmured and closed his eyes, and began the refinement of chi again. The next morning, the sun was shining brightly, and the birds were chirping. Naruto, who was ready to go, left the house and walked toward the school. He still failed to extract chi from the refining last night and instead refined a lot of chakra.
But Naruto faintly found a trace of abnormality.
It seems that with the increase of saiyan blood, his sensitivity to chi increases, which made Naruto very happy. Then he decided to continue to accumulate blood and try to extract it as soon as possible, but one thing surprised him. That is, the Umbus who was originally monitoring him were gone, and not a single one has been left, which is very strange.
Could it be that after the Mizuki incident yesterday, I got the approval of third Hokage? Or is it that Hokage thinks that my strength is stronger and he is worried about me discovering Umbu's people? Naruto frowned and couldn't figure out what was going on, but he didn't bother to think about it anymore and went to the school instead. Today is the school's briefing session, that is, team placement. There will be a new teacher to take them. Naruto doesn't have to think about it and knows that his new teacher is Kakashi. As an important character in the plot, Kakashi must have a lot of experience points on him. Naruto decided to take this opportunity to earn more experience points. After all, much of the experience points of his classmates in the class have been absorbed by him. It is estimated that they will be absorbed after one more wave today. So, he needs to find new targets. And Kakashi is a very good target. Of course, the third Hokage, Danzo, Might Guy, Kurenai, Asuma, etc., are also Naruto's goals. By the way, it's time to see if the shadow clone can absorb experience points. Naruto said secretly, his hands suddenly forming a seal. Bang bang bang. The white fog filled the air, and several shadow clones appeared around Naruto, silently waiting for his orders. Go! Naruto waved his hand, and several shadow clones disappeared instantly. Do not let me down. Naruto muttered, turned, and walked to the school class, then walked in. Naruto, why are you here? Today is the briefing session after graduating. Didn't you fail? Ino was very puzzled when he saw Naruto coming in and couldn't help asking. The surrounding students were also very curious and were all looking at this, while Hinata was eavesdropping with small ears. Only Sasuke showed indifference. He originally thought that Naruto had hidden his strength and was a master, but he did not expect him to even fail to graduate, which really disappointed Sasuke. So he doesn't care about Naruto's incident but pretends to be cool with his hands crossed. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Naruto looked at the flood of experience points, pointed to his forehead, and said, "Can't you see this?" "Ha! Forehead, you actually graduated, how did you do it?" Sakura looked at Naruto in surprise, very curious about how he did it. The students around were also very curious. They originally thought that Naruto had completely distanced himself from them, but in the blink of an eye, Naruto also graduated, which made them unable to figure out how. And Sasuke, who was in a cool state, also turned his head and asked in doubt, "Naruto, have you mastered the clone technique?" "No," Naruto said with a half-smile. "Then how did you become Genin?" Sasuke frowned, feeling that there was something he didn't know about. "Guess," Naruto replied. Sasuke was speechless and turned away. Naruto did not continue to interact with them, but walked to the side of Hinata and sat down. Naru, too. Hinata looked at Naruto beside her, her beautiful eyes filled with joy, and when she realized that everyone was looking at her, she immediately lowered her head in embarrassment. Looking at Hinata, who was so cute,
and the relatively large experience ball around her, Naruto felt that he couldn't absorb enough experience points at school today, but he quickly thought of a way and said, "Hinata, come to my house to play today, I'll cook something delicious for you." "Really?" As soon as Hinata heard that it was delicious, she immediately thought of the grilled fish that day. "Delicious? Do you cook?" Sakura leaned over and looked at Naruto suspiciously. In this world, there are very few men who cook, not to mention Naruto is still a child. So there was obvious suspicion in Sakura's eyes, and even the other students around had similar eyes. Naruto's cooking is delicious, especially the grilled fish. It's fragrant. It's even better than the chef's cooking. Hinata hurriedly explained and praised Naruto's cooking skills without hesitation. Is it that wonderful? Sakura didn't believe it, feeling that she was bragging. It's really amazing, I liked his grilled fish very much. Hinata praised, with seriousness on her fair little face. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Chapter 16, Dinner with Hinata. Hinata's words made the people around them suspicious. They turned their heads to look at Naruto and then at Hinata's serious appearance, their hearts were filled with strong curiosity. Sasuke, who originally ignored Naruto, also turned his head to look over, and at the same time, he was a little depressed. Because Naruto is not only good at woodcarving, but also painting, and now some people say that he can even cook, to be good at so many hobbies and crafts is really impressive. But Sasuke values strength more, so he muttered, "Strength is the foundation of everything, and the improvement of strength should not be affected by measly hobbies." Experience value +1. A measly hobby? After Naruto heard this, he turned his head to look at Sasuke. When the fox cannot reach the grapes, he says they are not ripe. "Humph, although I don't know that, but I am stronger than you, and strength is the foundation of everything," Sasuke said coolly on purpose. Oh, emo boy is actually arrogant. Naruto looked at Sasuke with a half-smile, deliberately referring to him with that nickname. "It's emo boy again, can you stop calling me emo, and I'm not arrogant." Sasuke said depressedly. Every time he was called by the name of emo, he felt that the eyes around him were very strange. "You are an emo boy, and you are arrogant, but you refuse to admit it." "You." Sasuke was at a loss for words. He felt that he couldn't speak to Naruto. In the end, he could only talk about his strength. "I don't care what you say, I'm stronger than you anyway." "Oh? Is that so? How about we fight arm wrestling?" Naruto said, feeling the explosive power in his body. "Okay." Sasuke was not afraid at all. He came directly in front of Naruto, and placed his right hand on the desk with a cool gesture. Such a form also attracted the attention of the surrounding female students, like Sakura. "Sasuke is really handsome, come on, you can definitely beat Naruto." Sakura cheered. "That's right, Naruto is idiotic, he will definitely lose." Several female students around also spoke up and chose to support Sasuke without hesitation. As the chief student, Sasuke's strength is obvious to all, so he won the support of the vast majority of girls. Only Hinata and Ino did not speak. Hinata had a good impression of Naruto since he was a child, and would support Naruto at all times. As for Ino, after going through the painting and woodcarving incidents, she felt that Naruto was pretty good, so she didn't plan to say anything. Of course, she still felt that the chances of Naruto winning were very low. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Naruto listened to the talks that kept coming, smiled, and put his right hand on the table. "Emo boy, I will let you know how weak you are. You are going to be stubborn to the end." Sasuke grabbed Naruto's right hand and said in front of everyone's eyes, "Let's start." Bang! The arm wrestling was over in an instant. Sasuke looked at his right hand, which was laying on the desk, and was stunned. Naruto actually won. Ino's eyes widened in surprise. Yes, and an instant victory. Inazuka Kiba also looked at Naruto with incredible eyes. Originally, he had no hope for Naruto, but he did not expect Naruto to win in an instant. Such a result made him and even all the students around him admire Naruto with admiration.
Could it be an accident?
It's possible that Sasuke is not ready, so it's better to start the game once.
Sakura couldn't help but say.
Yes, it is possible.
The other girls were also thinking that Sasuke might not have been ready.
When Naruto heard this, he smiled slightly and continued, "Okay, let's do it again, Sasuke, this time you call to start."
Okay.
Sasuke finally got serious this time, clasped his right hand with all his might, and quickly said, "Start."
Bang!
The dull voice sounded and everyone looked at Sasuke, who was defeated again. Seeing the result of the second defeat, everyone felt a little confused.
Again, he won again. Naruto actually won again, and in an instant too. Inazuka Kiba said, feeling that Naruto's power was stronger than he imagined.
I really didn't expect Naruto's strength to be so great, no wonder he can graduate.
Ino couldn't help but say.
I always thought he was an idiot, but I didn't expect him to be gifted with strength. The students around were talking a lot, and their eyes on Naruto changed completely, and they felt that Naruto was better than they thought.
I lost.
Sasuke staggered to his feet, walked back to his seat in a daze, and lay on the table in silence, not speaking.
Obviously, he was hit hard. Sasuke.
Sakura glared at Naruto when she saw this, then ran to Sasuke's side to appease him.
What are you glaring at me for? It's not my fault.
Naruto replied in dissatisfaction, then turned to interact with Hinata.
Experience value +1. Experience value +1.
Soon after, Mr. Iraka appeared and began to arrange the arrangement of teams.
Naruto unexpectedly became a member of the 7th team, which consisted of Sasuke and Sakura.
In this regard, Hinata was a little disappointed, but fortunately, Naruto paid attention to her mood and invited her to his house after school for dinner.
Hinata, eat quickly otherwise it will get cold.
Naruto gestured with a smile.
Well, thank you Naruto, it looks delicious.
Hinata looked at the fragrant food and her nature as a foodie seemed to be showing awakening signs.
Experience value +1.
Try this braised pork, it tastes pretty good, Naruto said with a smile. These are all recipes from his previous life which are not that delicious, but the food in the ninja world is full of delicacies, so Naruto is more confident about these dishes.
Yeah, I'll try it.
Hinata took a piece of braised pork and took a careful bite, followed by a slight meal, and then quickly stuffed it into his mouth and ate it.
It's super delicious. Hinata was completely mesmerized by its taste. Her whole personality turned from a shy and cute girl to a foodie.
Slow down, the food is getting nowhere. Naruto smiled and watched Hinata eat, feeling that even though Hinata turned into a foodie, she was still very cute, and especially those beautiful big eyes, which really made Naruto like her more.
Experience value +1. Naruto, you eat it too, it's really delicious.
As Hinata said, she also gave Naruto a piece, and then continued to fill herself with braised pork. After a while, she ate several pieces.
Hinata, didn't you say you like spicy food? Try this spicy tofu, it's also good. Naruto gave Hinata a piece and said,
Hinata nodded her head, holding chopsticks in her tender hands, and quickly tasted the spicy tofu.
It's delicious, really delicious. How did you make it, Naruto? I've never eaten such delicious food. Hinata looked at Naruto with admiration as she tasted it. It's just a simple recipe. If you like, you can come to my house often. Really?
Hinata's eyes lit up slightly and she became interested.
Of course it's true, but like today, it's up to you to buy groceries. I'm very poor. Naruto joked. Well, don't worry, just leave it to me. Hey, I'm just joking, Hinata, don't take it seriously. It's okay, Naruto. I really like eating your food, it's really delicious. Experience value +1. Okay, okay. Well, this one is delicious too. What is this? Chapter 17, The Head of the Hyuga Family. This is sweet and sour pork tenderloin, eat more if you like. Okay. Experience value +1. The two chatted while enjoying the food. It's just that the speed of eating is a little faster. In less than 10 minutes, a table of food was eaten. More than half of the food was eaten by Hinata. She was a little embarrassed about it, but the unsatisfied expression proved that she wanted to eat more. Looking at Hinata, who was so cute, and the experience balls around her, Naruto smiled and said, "You bought a lot of meat today, so I'll make you some more braised pork." No need. Hinata shook her head, but her attitude was not so firm, and it seemed that her resistance to this braised pork was very low. Wait for me here, I'll make it right away. Naruto smiled and started to get busy. I'll help you. Seeing Naruto busy again, Hinata was very embarrassed, but the braised pork was so delicious that she couldn't help but want more, so she ran to Naruto's side to help. Experience value +1. Next, the two got busy making braised pork. It took a long time and the two also interacted the whole time, so the experience ball around Hinata was only the size of a glass ball when it was time to leave. Thank you, Naruto, I'm really happy today. Hinata stood at the door, looking at Naruto gratefully. When she was at home, she never dared to eat so openly because there were always people saying bad things about her. But when she came to Naruto, she had so much fun eating, and the key point was that the food was very delicious, so she was very grateful for Naruto's hospitality. Well, take this with you. Naruto handed Hinata a lunchbox filled with braised pork. No, Naruto, you haven't eaten much. Hinata didn't want this, so she shook his head and refused. I made a lot of it and I don't eat much meat. If I put it at home, it would be a waste. Naruto smiled. This? Hinata hesitated. Take it. Naruto put the braised pork in Hinata's hand, and at that moment, he felt the texture of Hinata's hand. Soft, Naruto muttered. Such a sudden action made Hinata shy and the foodie returned to a state of shyness. Let's go, I'll take you home. Okay. Hinata lowered her head and nodded, following Naruto like a marionette. She didn't even look at the road, just followed silently, drifting away with Naruto in the sunset. Shortly after, the resident of the Hyuga clan. The two waved goodbye to each other, and after Naruto left, Hinata returned home happily. It's just that she didn't notice that when she passed the small courtyard, Hyuga Hayashi was looking at her with serious eyes, looking very dissatisfied. Whoosh! A figure flashed past and knelt on one knee on the ground. This person was none other than Hyugako, HTTP/URL, who secretly protected Hinata. Lord Patriarch, Hyugako said respectfully. Why did Hinata come back so late? Tell me what happened. Hyuga Hayashi said with a cold face. Yes. Hinata-sama went to Naruto's house as a guest today. Hyugako replied quickly. Naruto? It turned out to be this kid's house. Hyuga Hayashi sighed and said. My impression of Naruto is very good, but the village's attitude towards him is unclear. It is not suitable for close contact, for the time being, otherwise it will easily cause village's suspicion. Lord Patriarch, do you mean that Hinata-sama and Naruto are not allowed to come in contact? Hyuga said respectfully. Yeah, you also note that when I sent someone to send money and supplies to Naruto, it was blocked by Embu. The attitude of Sandaime and Danzo was very strange. Hyuga Hayashi took a deep breath and said again, now the Hyuga clan is getting stronger and has more right to speak, but it's better to stay calm and try not to have too much contact with Naruto. I will try my best to complete the task, but Hinata-sama is soft on the outside and firm on the inside, I may not be able to stop it. Hyugako said worriedly. Leave it to me on Hinata's side, I'll go tell her now. Hyuga Hayashi waved his hand, then turned and walked into the house. Living room.
Hinata was placing the braised pork on the table, and then took chopsticks, ready to let her father and Hana have a taste, but at this time, she saw her father walk in with a cold face.
Father. Hinata was cautious. Sit down, I have something to tell you.
Hayashi gave a slight gesture, and then he also sat down, ready to talk to Hinata and tell her not to go to Naruto.
If Hinata doesn't agree, then force her to do so.
So to have a better effect, he kept his face cold and prepared to reprimand Hinata.
Ha! It smells good, what is this?
Before Hyuga Hayashi could reprimand Hinata, the fragrance that wafted from time to time on the table attracted his attention.
Father, this is the braised pork made by Naruto. Try it, it's delicious. Hinata said, handing over the chopsticks on the table.
Hayashi shook his head, thinking in his heart that the food made by a child must not taste good, but it smelled so fragrant that he couldn't help picking up the chopsticks and taking a bite.
Ha!
This taste. Hyuga Hayashi felt the mouthful of fragrance, and instantly became interested, and his appetite was also hooked, and then he quickly ate with chopsticks.
It tastes really good. Hyuga Hayashi said and ate more than half of the braised pork in less than 3 minutes and even wanted to continue eating.
Father, half of the braised pork is reserved for me, Hinata reminded kindly.
Okay, this braised pork tastes really good. Hyuga Hayashi said, took a few more pieces, and ate them whole. Father, there are only a few pieces left. Hinata reminded again. Cough, it's not good to eat cold meat for kids.
Hayashi finished the braised pork in 3 strokes, and then put down his chopsticks in a hurry. Such a scene made Hinata a little depressed. She had a feeling that her father could eat more than her, and even doubted whether it was hereditary that she could eat that much.
But thinking of her father's cold face when she came in, she asked cautiously, Father, do you have something to say to me? Of course, you are not allowed to meet Naruto in the future. Wait, is this braised pork really made by Naruto? Of course, Naruto can cook.
Grilled fish, braised pork, spicy tofu, and sweet and sour pork tenderloin, and they all are super delicious.
Hinata said with her face full of admiration. There are so many delicacies? Is it as delicious as this braised pork? Hayashi asked. Of course, each one is delicious, and there are many other dishes. Hinata said without hesitation. So that's it, Naruto is a good boy, but he's too lonely, you should play with him more when you have time, Hayashi said with a blushing face, then got up and left the living room hurriedly. Yes, father. Hinata was a little dazed. Just now, her father came in so solemnly that she thought he was going to reprimand her. In the courtyard, Hyuga Hayashi waved to the outside. Whoosh! Lord Patriarch. Hyuga-ko saluted respectfully, have you spoken to Hinata-sama? Cough cough. Hyuga Hayashi coughed twice, and said a little embarrassedly, don't stop Hinata from looking for Naruto, let her do whatever she wants. Whatever she wants? Didn't you say that you were worried about causing suspicion in the village? Hyuga-ko said. Ahem, Naruto has no friends. If Hinata doesn't have contact with him, he will be too pitiful. Don't worry, our Hyuga clan is very strong. Hyuga Hayashi explained with some embarrassment on his face. Okay, Patriarch. Hyuga-ko answered in a confused voice, his mind was full of slurries, and even when the Patriarch went back he didn't respond, trying to understand what happened. Chapter 18, Meeting Team Leader. Naruto's house. After finishing everything, Naruto sat cross-legged on the bed, silently checked his status panel, and nodded with satisfaction at more than 200 experience points. Except for Sasuke, Sakura, and Hinata, the main characters, he has absorbed all the experience points available from his classmates. These 200 or more experience points are enough for him to improve his strength again. So he chose to exchange without hesitation. Ding! The exchange is successful and you will get 25 saiyan blood.
The warm current flows in the body, and as the explosive power of this warm current gathers, it makes the muscles on his body more obvious, and the originally thin body gets stronger and stronger. But that didn't end there, as more areas of his hair turned black. Silently closing his eyes, Naruto found that his perceptual ability had been improved again, and even with a little concentration, he could sense life signs in a pretty large area. Originally, after getting the saiyan blood, he gained a strong perception, and now, with the continuous increase of the saiyan blood, his perception is getting stronger and stronger. Although it can't reach the level of the mind's eye of Kagura, it can feel life signs within a radius of 1 kilometer, even cats, mice, and insects clearly. If someone tries to peep or monitor him, then he will feel it more clearly. This kind of ability made Naruto extremely surprised and satisfied. "System, open the status panel," Naruto said expectantly.
Ding! Naruto, Pseudo Saiyan.
Blood, 90 drops of saiyan blood. Abilities, strengthening clone technique, multiple shadow clone technique.
EXP, 0. 90 drops of saiyan blood. What will happen after 100 drops?
Naruto murmured, very curious about what will happen after 100 drops of saiyan blood, but now that it is night, it is difficult to go out to gain experience points even if he is a little impatient.
By the way, there should be new experience orbs around Ninetales? Right.
When the words fell, Naruto closed his eyes and instantly came to the sealed space.
Annoying kid, what are you doing here?
When Ninetales saw Naruto appear, he was instinctively defensive. He felt a little puzzled. He didn't know why he was guarding. So it looked at Naruto vigilantly and wanted to drive Naruto away.
Come on, can't I just come and see you?
Standing outside the seal, Naruto smiled at the small experience ball that appeared again around the Ninetales.
See me? You just want to make me mad. Every time you come here, my blood pressure rises through the roof. Ninetales hummed. Experience value +3. I'm just afraid that you are lonely? You don't even have a girlfriend. Shut up. Kyuubi roared sullenly, feeling like he was going to be mad for a few more hours. Experience value +3. Let me tell you, today Hinata came to my house for dinner. She is so cute, I just can't get enough of her. Naruto said quickly. Kyuubi turned his head away without looking at Naruto and even shrunk into a circle trying to ignore Naruto. Experience value +3. Forget it, I won't annoy you today, have a good rest. I will see you another day. Seeing that the experience balls around Ninetales completely disappeared, Naruto waved his hand and left, leaving Ninetales alone in the sealed space. This kid has changed? He's not annoying me anymore? I thought he was going to annoy me for a few more hours. Ninetales breathed a sigh of relief, but felt a little uncomfortable. Bah, what am I thinking? Let's sleep. Kyuubi muttered and chose to sleep. The next morning. Inside the bright and spacious school classroom, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura sat in the classroom and waited, but Sasuke and Sakura sat together, far away from Naruto. Emo boy, are you afraid of me? Naruto said with a yawn. Who's afraid of you? It's just that I lost to you in arm wrestling. Sooner or later, I will surpass you. Sasuke replied angrily. Experience value +1. Since you're not afraid of me, why are you sitting so far away from me? Naruto returned without hesitation. Sasuke was speechless, he didn't know how to answer, and finally said angrily, I just don't want to talk to you. Experience value +1. Don't want to talk to me? Then why are you still talking to me? Sasuke was speechless and finally turned his head to ignore Naruto. Sasuke, I actually have a way to become stronger. It may make you super strong and it only takes 3 years. Naruto said suddenly. Huh? What method? Sasuke was instantly interested when he heard that he could become stronger. Experience value +1. The method is very simple. Naruto looked at Sasuke and said,
You just need to do 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squats, run 10 kilometers, and eat some bananas, and for 3 years, you may become super strong.
What kind of training method is this? The intensity doesn't seem to be high. Sasuke wondered. His training intensity was higher than this, but still not much higher. What? You still don't believe it?
I told you that there is a guy who became stronger by this method, and he is super strong.
Naruto continued. Really? Sasuke was interested and eager to try. Of course, after you finish training, if you have a bald head, you will succeed. If you don't have a bald head, you will fail. Bald? Sasuke was stunned for a moment. The appearance of his bald head appeared in his mind, and he froze instantly.
When he saw Naruto's half-smiling expression, he immediately understood that he had been tricked again.
The angry Sasuke wanted to say something, but he didn't want to be rebuked by Naruto and finally turned his head away from Naruto. Experience value +1. Hey, this is all true, you can try it. Naruto continued to agitate, but unfortunately, Sasuke didn't speak.
At this time, Naruto sensed that Kakashi was coming to the school gate. He turned his head and glanced outside, and then said lightly, Our teacher is here.
Teacher?
Sasuke and Sakura were slightly taken aback when they heard this, and then looked in the direction of the door, but after waiting for a while, they didn't see anyone coming in, and their eyes became a little distrustful.
Naruto, it's wrong for you to lie like this. Trust is the most basic element of ninja teams.
You lie all the time, which will reduce mutual trust.
Sakura said angrily, obviously dissatisfied. Lying? When did I lie? Naruto raised his eyebrows and looked at Sakura.
You said that the teacher is here, there is no one at all, and you lied to Sasuke about his bald-headed cultivation method, which is obviously a lie.
Sakura murmured, then turned to look at Sasuke. Although Sasuke didn't speak, he also nodded with a gesture of approval, obviously not believing what Naruto said.
When Sasuke was nodding, the classroom door was pushed open, and then the teacher who will lead the team Hatake Kakashi walked in.
Sasuke's nodding motion froze, staring straight ahead, while Sakura next to him was dumbfounded and stared blankly at Kakashi.
The scene fell into a strange silence. No one said a word, which confused Kakashi, who had just come in.
Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Experience value +2. Chapter 19, The Dark-Faced Kakashi. Experience value +2. What?
Naruto was greatly surprised when he saw the prompt of +2 experience points that suddenly appeared. For a long time, he has not been sure of the reason for the increase in experience points. Important plot characters like Sasuke, Sakura, and Hinata only have +1 experience points. Although the experience balls around them are relatively large and contain a lot of experience points, each time he needed to interact for a long time to obtain all these experience points. The experience ball of the nine-tailed fox is slightly smaller than Hinata's, but the experience value is +3, which allows Naruto to gain a lot of experience in a short time. He likes this way of obtaining it, but he is not sure how to make Sasuke and the others also give +3 experience points. Now Kakashi's appearance is shown as +2, and the experience orb around him is similar to the nine tails, which is rather strange.
Is it because of adulthood? Or the longer you live? Or is it related to strength? Naruto said secretly, carefully observing Kakashi's situation, trying to determine what was going on. Why are you all silent?
Kakashi broke the silence and asked suspiciously. It's nothing, I just forgot to put the duster on the door, Naruto muttered.
What?
Kakashi was speechless. It was the first time he met someone who spoke like this.
Experience value +2.
You three come with me, Kakashi said, then turned and walked outside. Naruto shrugged and followed, while Sasuke and Sakura looked at each other, looking at Naruto's back with suspicious eyes.
Now Sasuke and Sakura are a little confused. They can't figure out how Naruto guessed it, as it feels a little unreal. Could it be that Naruto is a censor? Sakura said, a little unsure.
I don't know, I have to confirm it carefully.
Maybe the bald practice method he said is true,
Sasuke said sternly.
Sasuke, are you planning to use this method to practice? Sakura asked in disbelief when the image of Sasuke's bald head appeared in her mind.
If this practice method is true, no matter how bald I become, as long as I have the strength, as long as I can take revenge, everything is worth it, Sasuke said with a cold face.
I think it's better to first confirm whether Naruto is a censor or not,
Sakura hurriedly persuaded. I know, I will test him as soon as possible to see if he is lying, Sasuke said, and walked out of the class with a serious face.
Sakura walked slowly behind, and images of Sasuke's bald head appeared in her mind from time to time, and she felt a little ruined. Outside the school, on the roof of a certain platform,
Kakashi sat on the guardrail and looked at the three little kids in front of him. His eyes first stayed on Naruto for a few seconds, and then looked at Sasuke.
He is still very concerned about this survivor of Uchiha. He even decided to take this opportunity to test Sasuke's strength. As for Naruto and Sakura's strength, Kakashi doesn't pay much attention, because they are too weak.
As for why he looked at Naruto a few more times, it was naturally due to Nine Tails, and it was also one of the reasons why he became the leader of the 7th team.
Okay, let's introduce yourself, what you like, what you hate, your future dreams, etc. Forget it, let me talk about it first. Kakashi paused and said again, my name is Hatake Kakashi. I don't want to tell you what I like and dislike. As for interests, there are many. Experience value +2. That's it? Sakura asked suspiciously. Yes, it's your turn. Kakashi nodded decisively. Sakura and Sasuke were speechless, as they only learned the teacher's name in the introduction. Next, let me introduce myself.
Naruto was eager to earn Kakashi's experience points, so he chose to raise his hand immediately.
Okay.
Kakashi nodded, and lazily reached into his pockets, ready to take out the Aika Paradise in his pockets to read.
Naruto easily noticed Kakashi's actions, and he suddenly thought of something and smiled. My name is Naruto Uzumaki, the person I like is Hinata, and my dream is to marry her. I hate those people who read Aika Paradise. I heard that these people always peek at other people's baths, even little girls. Peeking at other people's baths? Even little girls?
Kakashi's hand that had just been put in his pocket froze, and he was dumbfounded.
Experience value +2. Naruto, are you telling the truth?
There is such a pervert.
Sakura chastised indignantly, obviously loathing such people. Of course it's true.
Anyone who reads that kind of book is not a good person, and it also affects their physical and mental health.
There is a sickness called kidney deficiency, http://. You may not know what kidney deficiency is. Let me tell you.
Naruto quickly explained a lot, and thoroughly explained kidney deficiency.
These people deserve this kidney deficiency, they even peek at other people's baths. It's so hateful.
If I see such a person, I will definitely beat him up and call him a pervert in front of everyone.
Sakura said angrily, completely ignoring Kakashi's increasingly dark face next to her. Experience value +1. Experience value +1. Experience value +2. Kakashi-sensei, what's the matter with you? Why is your face so dark?
Sakura said at the same time, seeing Kakashi's expression, she suddenly became suspicious.
Oh, it's okay, I'm just a little sick, Kakashi explained. Is it kidney deficiency? Naruto said quickly. Gah!
The scene was silent. Sasuke and Sakura looked at Kakashi with strange eyes, the atmosphere seemed a little weird, and a faint cold wind was blowing faintly. Experience value +2.
Now, continue the introduction. Tomorrow there will be a super difficult test.
If you fail, you will have to go back to the ninja school for further studies.
It will be difficult to become a ninja again.
Kakashi stared at Naruto, deliberately showing a vicious expression. After Naruto heard this, he smiled slightly, and then deliberately showed off.
If I can't become a ninja, then I will just go to Hinata. She is the eldest daughter of the Hyuga clan. I know she will support me. What?
Kakashi was speechless, feeling that his effort to panic him was useless. The Naruto in front of him was even more mischievous than he imagined, and what the other party said really made sense, but why did it sound so irritating? The depressed Kakashi decided to ignore Naruto and continued to let Sasuke and Sakura introduce themselves.
Experience value +2. However, how could Naruto miss the opportunity to earn experience points, so he spoke again. Chapter 20, Unbelievable.
But when Naruto was about to speak, he suddenly remembered the hard life of these years, especially the scene where he dragged his thin body alone and tried to find food before practicing chakra. At that time, he once risked heatstroke and staggered picking wild fruits and vegetables in the hot summer. He also wore thin clothes in the harsh winter and lacked food. And in the autumn risked being attacked by wild animals in the forest just to stock up on more food for winter. During that time, he didn't have any requirements for food, he just wanted a full meal. When he was sick, it was even more troublesome. He can only fight hard alone and drag his sick body to find food. At that time, he was full of hatred and disgust for this village and vowed to kill some old guys in the future. The resentment in his heart can be said to have accumulated to the extreme. If it weren't for the appearance of Hinata, Naruto may no longer be in his current state, and he might have fallen into tyranny and hatred like Gaara when he was a child. After all, he is not that Naruto.
Now,
although he maintained his mentality and maintained his ego, his heart was still full of resentment, which was one of the reasons why he hated others. As for Kakashi in front of him, Naruto looked at his lazy appearance and looked at his attitude of always paying attention to Sasuke, and suddenly spoke up.
Kakashi, your name sounds familiar, I seem to have heard it somewhere, have we met? You must be a very powerful joinin. Naruto asked deliberately.
Well, I do have a bit of a reputation, but we haven't met, otherwise I wouldn't introduce myself here.
Kakashi shrugged. Yeah, why would I ask such a silly question, huh?
Naruto smiled and did not speak, but looked in the direction of Hinata's house, because only Hinata could make him feel a little relief.
Opposite. Kakashi glanced at Naruto inexplicably, then continued, who would introduce himself next? Me. Sakura raised her hand happily and began to introduce herself. 10 minutes later.
After everyone's conversation was over, Kakashi got up lazily.
Okay, remember not to eat tomorrow morning or you will vomit. After Kakashi finished speaking, he disappeared with a swoosh, and the strength of the strong man was undoubtedly revealed. Sasuke, let's go. Sakura looked at Sasuke for the first time and invited him to leave together. Okay. Sasuke nodded and stood up, then turned to look at Naruto, who was still sitting there. Naruto, how did you discover Kakashi-sensei earlier? Sasuke asked suddenly. Why? Think I'm a censor? Naruto looked at Sasuke with a half-smile. I just wanted to ask. Sasuke shook his head, wanting to ask about the bald-headed practice method, but he didn't ask but planned to confirm it the next time.
Sasuke and Sakura left, heading for their respective homes, only Naruto sat quietly.
Naruto.
The sweet voice came from the side, with a hint of shyness and weakness, but it was extraordinarily pleasant. Naruto turned his head to look to the side, and a small and cute figure came into view.
This figure was none other than Hinata. Naruto had already discovered that Hinata was coming from a distance. After all, his perception was not a decoration, but he needed to mind his attitude. Hinata, come and sit next to me. Naruto pointed to his side. Okay.
Hinata obediently came to Naruto and sat down, clasped her fair hands, and said, "Naruto, why didn't you go home?"
"It's the same whether I go home or not. It's not like someone is waiting for me there."
Naruto shook his head and replied,
"Naruto."
Hinata was slightly stunned when she heard this. Her little face was tangled and she wanted to comfort Naruto, but she didn't know what to do, so she just tugged Naruto's clothes corner stupidly.
Such a cute appearance was easily captured by Naruto, and he said warmly, "If Hinata escorts me back, I will be happy to go home."
Ah, that. When the shy Hinata heard the words, her face flushed instantly, and she even wanted to faint, but she still mustered up her courage.
"Okay, I. Experience value +1.
Hearing Hinata's soft voice, the smile on Naruto's face softened a little.
"Let's leave, Hinata. I'll cook you a big meal today. What do you want to eat?"
"Braised pork," Hinata said embarrassedly.
"Braised pork? Okay."
Naruto always thought that girls preferred vegetarian food, but Hinata actually likes braised pork so much.
The main point is that they just ate it yesterday.
He thought Hinata would choose something else, but he didn't expect that it was still braised pork.
Well, it doesn't matter, braised pork is very simple to make. If Hinata likes it, he will just make more of it.
After the two finished speaking, they walked towards the house together. When they passed the store, Hinata bought a lot of ingredients, and the amount of meat was doubled from yesterday. Seeing Hinata walking out of the store with a lot of ingredients in both hands, Naruto felt a little surprised, but he didn't say anything. Instead, he reached out to pick up the ingredients.
"Naruto, let's carry it together, it's heavy."
Hinata was worried that Naruto would be too tired to carry it. She didn't want Naruto to work hard, so she wanted to carry it together.
"It's okay, give it to me." Naruto took the bag of ingredients and held it in his left hand with no difficulty at all. Hinata was a little surprised to see this scene.
The bag of ingredients was very heavy, and she needed two hands to lift it, but Naruto could lift it with one hand. This kind of strength is much greater than her. Naruto's body seems to be a little stronger than before, which surprised Hinata.
"Did you forget that I beat Sasuke in arm wrestling?" Naruto smiled. "Oh yes, I forgot about that."
Hinata scratched his head stupidly, feeling that she acted stupidly when she was next to Naruto.
"Let's go, I will make much more braised pork today."
Braised pork. Hinata licked her lips, revealing her nature as a foodie.
Experience value +1. On the other side, the resident of the Hinata clan, the lunchroom of the patriarch's house. Hayashi and Hanabi are sitting and eating together.
Hanabi is cheerfully eating, but Hayashi isn't eating at all.
"Father, why aren't you eating?" Hanabi looked strangely at her dad. "I have no appetite." Fuga Hayashi shook his head. "Isn't this your favorite food? Why don't you have an appetite?" Hanabi asked while savoring these delicious delicacies. "You'll find out later. Speaking of which, why didn't your sister come back?"
"I clearly told her to come back sooner."
"Eh? Why are you waiting for her?" Hanabi asked blankly.
"You will know later, you should eat first, eat enough."
"What?"
Hanabi looked at her father with strange eyes and felt that her father's behavior is a little abnormal. Well, whatever, if her father doesn't want to eat these delicacies, then she will have a full meal anyway. Her father has already allowed it.
So she started feasting on it. Chapter 21, Getting Free Equipments. On the other side, Hinata had a delicious lunch at Naruto's house and then left happily with 2 boxes of food.
One of the boxes is braised pork, and the other is grilled chicken wings. Both are very delicious. When Hinata came home with these goodies, he happened to see his father and sister chatting at the dining table.
"You're finally back, Hinata. Did you bring back the braised pork?"
Hayashi said hurriedly.
"Yes, I brought it."
"Naruto heard that you like braised pork, so he gave me some more, and I also brought a box of grilled chicken wings."
"It's very delicious."
Hinata said, putting the two delicacies on the dining table and opening them, and the fragrant smell filled the room in an instant, which also attracted the attention of Hanabi. I'll try it first. Hayashi was hungry for a long time, and immediately picked up the grilled chicken wings and tasted it.
Seeing this scene, Hanabi, who was full, felt trapped, but she seldom eats meat, so she doubted, is it that delicious? You'll know when you taste it. Hinata smiled and indicated. Then I'll try it. Hanabi didn't take it seriously but still took a piece of braised pork and put it into her mouth. She, who didn't take it seriously at first, instantly lit up and then said in surprise, "It's really delicious, it's a special kind of taste, I've never tasted this kind of taste before." Hanabi said that and quickly ate the braised pork, and then looked at the roasted chicken wings. With deep anticipation, she picked up a piece and tasted it. The crispy and tender roasted chicken wings instantly conquered her. It's really delicious. Sister, you just said that these were given by Naruto. Did he make them? Hana asked curiously. Of course, he can cook. Besides these, there are many delicious foods. Hinata explained with a smile. I didn't expect Naruto to be such a wonderful chef. I must meet him when I get a chance. Hanabi saw her father feasting there. She had already eaten a lot of food before. She was worried that she would not be able to eat, so she hurriedly joined the ranks of foodies. It's a pity that she was too full, and now she can't eat. The depressed Hanabi can only stare at her father. Father, why did you encourage me to eat so much before? Were you afraid that I will eat these delicacies? I was just worried that you won't have enough to eat. Now if Hanabi wants to eat these delicacies, just eat them. I won't stop you. Hayashi said and started eating again. Hanabi was depressed, she had already eaten enough, how could she still eat? She could only look at Hinata instead of looking at those delicacies. Sister, tell me about Naruto, how does he cook so well? I'll tell you later, first I have to tell father something important. Hinata suddenly remembered the mission that Naruto had given him, and then looked at her father and said, Father, Naruto wants you to help me get some equipment for heavy training. Heavy training equipment? That is easy, I'll arrange it later. Hayashi nodded without hesitation. By the way, can you get a few ninjutsu scrolls to increase the gravity? Hinata said again. Gravity increasing ninjutsu scroll? That is a bit difficult. Hayashi hesitated, such ninjutsu is not easy to do, and it belongs to the land of earth. Father, just try your best, I'll bring you better food next time. Hinata said with a smile. Looking at the food on the table, Hayashi nodded and said, okay, I'll try my best. With this promise, Hinata finally felt relieved. This was the first time Naruto had asked her for help, and she would help Naruto no matter what. Hinata, who was in a good mood, went to the living room, then got together with Hanabi and talked about Naruto. On the other side, Naruto's house. Several shadow clones were busy in the room, some painting, some carving, and some learning various skills and knowledge. And Naruto sat cross-legged, looking at his status panel. He was not in contact with many people today, only a few people, but because they were all important people, the experience value he has gained has reached more than 100 points. So many experience points are enough for him to exchange 10 drops of saiyan blood, and he has a total of 90 drops of saiyan blood, only 10 drops from 100 drops. At this moment, Naruto is full of expectations, because he always felt that when the saiyan blood reaches 100 drops, there will be unknown gains. Taking a deep breath, Naruto consumed all the experience points and began to exchange saiyan blood. Ding! The exchange is successful, you get 10 drops of saiyan blood. A warm current flowed in his body, and all the blood started boiling at this moment. It's almost like the blood is cheering, jumping, and welcoming the new blood. At this moment he seemed to have gone a subtle transformation, his hair color turned black in a large area, and at the same time, the edges and corners of his face became more distinct,
and the muscles on his body became stronger and full of explosive power. Feeling the explosive power contained in his body, Naruto spread his hands and said in surprise, "What a strong power, this is a great leap forward." Naruto murmured, his strength was originally very strong, but after this transformation, it has increased several times. Of course, his perception has also been greatly improved, and the original perception range has suddenly expanded several times. He still needs to test the specific range of perception.
Ding!
Saiyan blood condenses into bloodline, 10% Saiyan bloodline achieved.
Ding!
From Pseudo Saiyan, promoted to Mixed Saiyan.
Ding! Naruto, Mixed Saiyan. Bloodline, 10%. Ability, Enhanced Clone Technique, Multi-Shadow Clone Technique, 3-Body Technique, Kunai Throwing Proficiency, Chakra Manipulation Proficiency. Experience points, 9. 10% Bloodline? Mixed Saiyan? Naruto murmured.
Naruto clearly knows that all Saiyans are different, and the bloodlines are also divided into different levels. Naruto has always felt that his Saiyan blood is a little different, especially due to the increase in perception.
He vaguely felt that his 10% Saiyan bloodline might bring him great gains. Let's try it. Naruto closed his eyes and was about to try it. He closed his eyes to feel the changes, and when his eyes opened, they were full of surprise. Chapter 22, Mixed Saiyan. Because he felt a mysterious energy, although this energy was very similar to chakra, it was more domineering and more aggressive. The moment Naruto felt the energy, he immediately thought of the ki in Dragon Ball, the Kamehameha, Ki Blast, and the Tri-Beam. These abilities are various moves formed by ki condensation, not to mention Kamehameha. Let's first talk about Ki Blast. Ki is condensed into a spherical shape and then released to produce an explosion, which is quite powerful. Moreover, the Ki Blast is very flexible and has a wide range of uses. In the later stages, Son Goku and Vegeta rarely used those fancy moves, and the commonly used ones were Kamehameha and Ki Blasts. It can be said that these two abilities run through the entire Dragon Ball plot and are quite useful abilities. And now, Naruto has a faint feeling that he can condense Ki Blasts if he tries. With deep anticipation, Naruto raised his right hand and began to try to condense his ki into a spherical shape little by little. The aggressive ki circulated in the body. Naruto closed his eyes and slowly mobilized this ki to gather in his hands. He originally thought that he would have to work hard for an hour or two to succeed, but he did not expect that just by trying to condense the energy a little, it will instantly form a sphere that appeared on the palm of his hand, a ki blast with exploding power. It worked? It's simpler than I first thought. Maybe because of practicing chakra control. And this blast has a high degree of cohesion and is very pure. Unfortunately, my bloodline is only 10%, so ki in the body is too low. It seems like I need to continue to increase the bloodline. Naruto carefully examined the sphere of energy and concluded that his path was not wrong, and it seems like he had taken a big step toward his goal. Through this, he can develop many abilities, such as flight and maybe even teleportation. If only I could learn to teleport, with that kind of ability I can run rampant in the entire universe. Naruto whispered to himself, looking forward to using teleportation in the future. But now the most important thing is to experiment with the power of the Ki Blast, and the Kamehameha must also be developed. With a trace of anticipation, Naruto came to the mirror and prepared to leave, but his large black hair in the mirror attracted his attention. More and more of my hair is getting black, and it's looking pretty good. Naruto stroked his hair and found that his hair seemed to be set. No matter how he fiddled with his hair, it would quickly return to its original shape. It's really good. I'm really looking forward to the scene after it's completely darkened. Naruto didn't stop. After wearing his outfit, he quickly walked out of the house and headed for the forest. It took him several hours to go, and it was only in the evening that he walked home with a smile. Naruto's door. The cute little Hinata hugged her knees and leaned against the door quietly, waiting for Naruto's return. There was a large bag on the left side of her body.
There were many ingredients in the bag, as well as some milk and breakfast cakes, all specially prepared for Naruto. After having eaten here twice, Hinata found that Naruto's life was worse than expected, and the food lacked many necessary nutrients. To make Naruto grow better, she went to the store to buy a lot of supplies, and then brought a large bag of things to her. Unfortunately, after coming here, she found out that Naruto was not at home.
Where did Naruto go?
Hinata looked around, sighed helplessly, and continued to wait while holding her knees. Just when she turned her head just now, she suddenly felt a breeze. She turned her head and strangely found that Naruto was standing beside her.
Naruto, you're finally back, eh? I didn't see you just now.
Hinata scratched her head a little blankly.
None of this matters. Naruto smiled and looked at the big bag next to him. There are so many things, why did you buy so many?
This.
I just want to eat more of the food you made.
Hinata said softly. Naruto saw the milk and breakfast cakes in the big bag and knew that Hinata must have also bought breakfast for him, and a warm current flowed in his heart. He instinctively raised his right hand and started patting Hinata's head, and said, "Thank you, Hinata, I'll make more delicious food today." After Naruto finished speaking, he opened the door, lifted the big bag on the ground, and entered the house, leaving Hinata blushing and motionless.
After a while,
Hinata raised her white plain hands to set her hair, and then shyly walked into Naruto's house.
Hinata, sit down for a while, I just went to practice, I'm sweating all over my body so, I have to take a shower.
Okay. Whoosh. The sound of taking a bath came from the bathroom.
Hinata didn't rest but started picking vegetables.
While busy, Hinata saw Naruto's clothes left outside. The color of the clothes has faded a little. It was obviously washed and worn, and it looked pretty old. Seeing this, Hinata felt a little uncomfortable. She picked up Naruto's clothes and carefully looked at the size, secretly memorizing the size of the clothes, and then continued to pick vegetables.
After a few minutes,
after washing the dishes, Hinata was about to wipe her hands when she suddenly heard the sound of the bathroom door opening. She turned her head to look just in time to see Naruto walking out wearing only pants. In an instant, that sturdy physique, well-proportioned muscles, and a streamlined figure came into her eyes. Especially the bulky chest and abs, which seemed to give her a feeling of firmness and power.
Such a scene made Hina freeze in place like a dumb goose.
She had always thought that Naruto's body was very thin, but when she really saw Naruto's figure, she realized that Naruto's figure was several times stronger than his peers. After seeing such a good figure, Hina's cheeks gradually appeared red, and she even lowered her head in embarrassment. She was going to faint, but she bravely stopped herself.
Experience value +1. Ha! You have already picked the vegetables. Naruto came to Hinata and saw the scene in the kitchen.
Yes.
Hinata still lowered her head and stammered her answer.
The two of them stood so close together that she, who was already blushing, was dizzy.
Would you like to learn to cook? Naruto thought that the two of them would definitely be together in the future. In that case, Hinata would definitely come to cook, so he asked.
Yes. Hinata's voice was still small and insignificant. Okay, I'll teach you how to fry eggplant with fish flavor first. This is very simple, as long as you choose the right ingredients. Naruto said and started explaining in detail while cooking.
After the fish-flavored eggplant was fried, Naruto turned his head and asked Hinata, "Have you learned?"
Learned.
Hinata nodded shyly, looking a little helpless. Looking at Hinata's shy look, Naruto raised his eyebrows and said, "What is this dish called?"
Hinata, braised pork.
Naruto. Chapter 23, The Test.
Okay, it doesn't seem to be braised pork. Hinata said weakly when she saw the fried vegetables, and her voice was particularly nice.
This is called Yuseong eggplant, HTTP URL. Naruto said. Yeah, I see.
Hinata nodded obediently, her little face becoming serious.
Experience value +1. The second meal is sweet and sour pork tenderloin, look carefully.
Naruto started teaching again, and every step was explained in detail, and at the same time, he did not forget to let Hinata participate.
Naruto is very happy with her progress. If this progress continues for some time, Hinata will definitely become a qualified little cook.
But there is one thing Naruto is very concerned about, that is, the experience balls around Hinata are getting smaller and smaller, and they will disappear. At that time, he can only recover some of them when there is a new plot. Fortunately, he has to participate in the test tomorrow, and he can continue to gain experience points from Kakashi at that time. After thinking about this, Naruto was not worried at all and ate a happy dinner with Hinata. The next day, the location of the test. Before the sun rose and the sky was still dark, Sasuke and Sakura rushed over early and stood on the grass and waited silently.
Strange, why hasn't Naruto come yet? He won't oversleep, right? Sakura looked around. I don't know. Sasuke shook his head.
Although he was puzzled, he didn't take it to heart. Instead, he waited for Kakashi-sensei to appear and pass the survival drill as soon as possible. What they didn't expect was that they waited in the dark weather until the early morning, and then until it was almost 10 o'clock, their teacher Kakashi did not appear. This made Sakura and Sasuke very dissatisfied, especially when they thought of Naruto sleeping at home. They were even angrier.
It's really hateful, the two of them didn't show up for the test, especially Naruto, who must be sleeping, Sakura said indignantly. Let's wait for some time more, Sasuke replied, putting his hands into his pockets in a cool way. On the other side,
100 meters away from the survival exercise site, Kakashi was walking forward leisurely with two bells. Those three must be tired of waiting, I just want to examine their patience, and Naruto must be impatient. Kakashi murmured lazily, feeling that his way of dealing with the three was very good.
It's almost time now.
After Kakashi finished speaking, he quickly rushed to the location of the survival exercise. His fast movement speed made it easy to reach the destination in a very short time.
Kakashi-sensei, why are you here so late? Sakura said dissatisfied. Aha, I met a cat on the way, eh? Where's Naruto?
Kakashi was looking for an excuse, but when he saw only Sasuke and Sakura in front of him, he was depressed. Originally, he thought that it would be a good way to punish Naruto, but Naruto didn't show up, which made him feel helpless. Naruto hasn't come, he must be sleeping at home, Sakura reported.
Sleeping?
He must be punished.
Kakashi frowned. No, I was here early.
A faint voice suddenly sounded, and then Naruto's figure jumped from a big tree and walked towards the exercise center.
What? Kakashi looked in the direction Naruto was coming from because he passed under the tree when he came, but why didn't he find Naruto? This time Kakashi got serious and felt that something was wrong, but he just let it go and shook his head. Because Naruto had just graduated from the ninja school, his little strength in the eyes of Kakashi was nothing, so he no longer took it seriously, but fell into his usual mode of laziness. Since everyone is here, let's start the test. Let me tell you the rules.
Kakashi took out two bells and started talking about the rules.
Okay, so if you get the bell before 12 o'clock, you will pass. Otherwise, you will fail. Remember that there are only two bells, and one of you all will not be able to pass. Whoosh whoosh.
Sounds flashed in Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto left at full speed. Only Kakashi remained motionless. After a while, he felt that the time was almost up and turned his head.
The basic of being called a ninja is to hide their presence. Let's see how these three little devils are doing. Kakashi observed carefully and quickly found Sasuke and Sakura. Yes, everyone is hiding well, eh? Where's Naruto? Kakashi checked carefully but he couldn't find him. Where did this kid go? Why can't I find him?
Kakashi was confused and couldn't figure out where Naruto was hiding. In the end, he could only focus on Sasuke and Sakura, and prepare to defeat these two little devils first. Whoosh whoosh. Kunai flashed by quickly and disappeared around Kakashi, but he avoided it easily and rushed towards Sasuke's position very quickly.
Dang, dang. The battle continued, but in the face of Kakashi's powerful strength, Sakura and Sasuke obviously failed.
But after Kakashi defeated Sasuke and Sakura, he frowned because Naruto never appeared, which made Kakashi puzzled as he didn't understand what Naruto was planning. Kakashi, who couldn't figure out the reason, quickly entered the jungle, kept searching around the exercise site, and soon found a hidden figure in a cave 300 meters away.
Got you. Kakashi smiled slightly and rushed towards the cave quickly. The super-fast movement speed made it easy for him to reach it quickly.
Come out, Naruto, you're the only one left, there's no point in avoiding.
Yes?
A faint voice came from the cave, and then a large group of Naruto came out of the cave and looked at Kakashi indifferently.
Multi-shadow clone technique?
Kakashi was stunned when he saw this, and then said again, it's useless, no matter how many cannon fodders come, it's useless.
Yes? Tung tang tang tung.
A dense number of shadow clones appeared from the cave, and at the same time, a large number of shadow clones came from afar, looking at Kakashi with half a smile. Looking at such a large-scale shadow clone, Kakashi's face became solemn, and then said, it's interesting, but it's not enough. Whoosh whoosh. The shadow clones all over the mountains rushed towards Kakashi, fought fiercely with Kakashi in front of the cave, and started a frantic battle around him.
And the exercise site is 300 meters away. Next to the stone tablet.
Naruto was eating lunch and looked in Kakashi's direction. Sensei, you have to cheer up, the game has just begun. After Naruto finished speaking, he continued to eat. He quickly ate the two lunchboxes, and then stretched his back and leaned against the stone tablet to waiting for the end of the battle on Kakashi's side. After only 5 minutes of waiting, Naruto stood up. It seems that there are too many shadow clones. I won't really defeat Kakashi, after all he is an elite Jonin.